this blind pick going to be in the Grand Arena?
Yep, and once again, Method Black, they're trying to find an answer for the Windwalker Death Knight of Wildcard Gaming, and they may have found one with the Frost Mage Windwalker Monk, but unfortunately for them, Wildcard Gaming, they read their hand, and they know exactly what to run, and that is going to be that Elemental Shaman Moonkin Restoration Druid. I'm still not 100% sold on this composition. Method Black could definitely still win this one.
Yeah, this isn't a matchup that we get to see very often, but Wildcard Gaming dodge a bullet by avoiding this Windwalker Mage. They would typically want to be playing their Mistweaver Windwalker Death Knight, but we've seen that this Windwalker Frost Mage is able to actually deal with it quite effectively. So Wildcard Gaming anticipated Method Black using this to counter-comp their main composition, and then locked in this Elemental Shaman Balance Druid to try and get an advantage through this manner. But we still aren't 100% sold or confident in this composition's capability after its performance yesterday on Never Lucky. It looked kind of shaky, but of course Zeepai is one of the best elemental shamans across the globe, so potentially going to be showing us that this composition packs a little bit more punch.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have to see what exactly Waz can get done on that Windwalker Monk. I don't think we've seen him on Windwalker Monk for quite some time. It might have been last year is the first time, or the last time that we saw him. Chaz moving in, looking for some crowd control. Finds a Cyclone onto Looney. Unfortunately, was denied by Zeepai. Really good backup. Zeepai always backing up the team with really well-timed grounding totems and Earth Shocks to slow down a lot of that crowd control, and that's going to be his role in this particular match. It's going to be up to Morrow and Zeepai to make sure Raikou can never really find opportunities to land polymorphs onto Looney, and that's what's so difficult for the Frost Mage in this particular matchup. You have Looney, who's a Restoration Druid with an Elemental Shaman backing him up, so getting polymorphs on him is not an easy job. And then Morrow, of course, on that Moonkin. With Moonkin form, he's going to be immune to polymorph, so a lot of that Frost Mage control is not going to be really benefiting Method Black in this particular matchup.
Which is why we see Morrow as the target of choice for Method Black. That way they can still access the polymorph diminishing return on at least one member of the team, that being Zeepai. I'm curious to see what the strategy is here for Wildcard Gaming. Early on, it appears that they're just focusing on deflecting Waz, trying to keep him at bay with pressure, potentially punch through for a kill if he's not careful. One big Earth Shock, and it could just be a KO for him, so he definitely needs to be aware of that while he's pushing forward. After Looney comes out of this Cyclone, I'm curious to see what the mana situation is, if there's any lead establishing itself there. Definitely in favor of Wildcard Gaming. Pressure on both Raikou and Waz. I'm wondering how much Zeepai is utilizing the recent changes to the reductions in mana cost on Purge, if this is why Chaz is struggling so much more so on mana than that of Looney.
Yeah, I mean, that could definitely be a huge factor in this particular matchup. I think Restoration Druids are one of the healers that might struggle with something like Purge being on a lower mana cost, as well as the Dispel Magic from the Shadow Priest and Discipline Priest. We have yet to see that really play out too much in favor of the Discipline Priest, Shadow Priest, and Elemental Shaman, but like we've sort of said, Chaz behind on mana at this point in the game. I'm not sure if he's ever going to be able to really sneak away. It seems like Zeepai's been doing a really good job making sure he stays in combat. They have good, consistent pressure in this matchup, and speaking as a Windwalker Monk, it can be very difficult, especially if Waz is not running the Tiger Eye Brew specialization, to take down a target like a Moonkin. And when he does go into bear form, he's going to have heavy armor, and Windwalker Monks don't exactly have a lot of damage that goes through those high armor targets, so it can be difficult, and the damage you're able to put out is very limited.
Waz looks like he wants to start pressuring Looney a bit, but is going to be pulling back. Having realized that Chaz and Raikou repositioned, they would be overextending quite heavily. I'm curious to see how well Wildcard Gaming can deny Chaz from regenerating his mana on drink attempts. That's going to be the name of the game for Wildcard Gaming. Focus on defense, get your setups on the Lightning Lasso, and burn down Chaz's mana as fast as Teldrassil. Looney jumping to Morrow to try and get to safety. Manages to reposition, avoiding any sort of double stun. Raikou gets bursted pretty hard here early on. Chaz denies it with Iron Bark. That should buy time for Raikou to counterattack. We see pressure on Morrow. How is Looney going to respond? So far, only exchanging the Innervate, at least getting a couple powerful heals for free, but likely we will see a cooldown forced here, and if it's underreacted, possibly a kill. Looney now gets swapped to, caught into a bash, pressure onto two members of the team. Looney once again reluctant to make a trade on cooldowns, remaining calm, cool, and calculated, not overextending his defensive lineup whatsoever. Waz now getting bursted. Chaz's mana still significantly behind, and Wildcard Gaming continue to march forward with their advantage.
Yeah, definitely. Wildcard Gaming is looking very good in this matchup. Raikou with his Icy Veins wasn't able to get a whole bunch done Mara looking to get aggressive right now with his incarnation, but Raiku's doing a really good job. You can see his positioning right now, making sure he's always weaving in and out of the pillar to avoid the damage Mara can really put out. Raikou trying to build up significant burst now by just spamming up some Frostbolts, and if they can get some good crowd control onto Looney with all that Frost Mage damage ready and available, they might be able to actually burst Morrow down. He gets offensively cycloned and interrupted. Raikou really just going for raw damage at this point in the match, not looking for crowd control. Looney, in the meantime, sitting down for a drink. He has full faith in the fact that Morrow's going to be able to stay alive, especially with some of the off-healing Zeepai has available. Now Wildcard Gaming is in an opportunity where they completely reset their mana.
That Ring of Peace from Waz missed Looney. He was able to regenerate to full mana and establish a huge lead just as Dampening enters the fight. Exactly what Wildcard Gaming needed to get even further ahead. Zeepai going for a Lightning Lasso. Tons of damage tossed towards Raikou. I do like the coordinated effort between Maru and Zeepai. Maru is always saving his Astral Power to combine with the Lightning Lasso. This way, their otherwise very low sustained damage is then more effective combined together with Burst on the Lightning Lasso. They're playing this a lot more coordinated than the previous Elemental Shaman Boomkins that we have seen, trying to capitalize on as much burst damage as possible. Waz taken fairly low. Iron Bark appears to be enough for Chaz to recover. He's trying to sneak away. Maru sees that, and the other advantage of this composition is access to a spell called Starfall, but Chaz expects Maru to Starfall that pillar, so Chaz repositions in stealth. Zeepai knows he's in stealth and picks up the Shadow Sight Crystal to try and find him. Zeepai is now hunting Chaz. Everything is all about Zeepai stopping Chaz from jinking. Chaz is still not sat down, realizing that Zeepai can see him. He may not even be able to find any sort of opportunity, at least managing to regen some mana just from being out of combat, but still significantly behind.
Yeah, definitely. Looney pushing in. He's playing that Feral Affinity. He gets a stun onto Raikou, so if Looney can ever get out of combat, go into cat form, he can consistently stun up the enemy team of Method Black with that very precious Feral Affinity, but it does make him vulnerable as a target. So I think if Waz and Raikou, they can find an all-in attempt on Looney, if Raikou can pool a lot of his damage like the Frozen Orb, Comet Storm, Ice Nova, and Waz can save his Touch of Death, they might be able to just take down Looney through everything, especially without that frenzied regen, like Guardian Affinity. It could be an opening for Method Black, but right now what they're doing, going after Morrow, it's just not working out.
Oh, they're pressuring Waz as Chaz has been trying to sit down and regenerate mana throughout, but now costing huge defensive cooldowns right as Dampening starts to hit critical mass. This spells devastation for Method Black. The pressure's really on to Chaz. How much longer can he keep his team alive? They've got Touch of Death and Icy Veins. They've got one big swing left to try and throw at Wildcard Gaming. Potentially they could 100-0 Zeepai with no trinket. That's only really one opportunity I'm seeing right now for their team. Currently pinned at the pillar. Zeepai, Morrow, triangle position. Looney sits down for a drink to further establish the mana advantage. Waz tries to find him. Manages to, but it's already too little too late. That's a significant lead for Wildcard Gaming. Raiku's going to pull the trigger on Icy Veins and try and get a kill here. Looney denies it with Iron Bark. Fortunately, Waz and Raikou have split up their Touch of Death and Icy Veins, so there will be another attempt for Waz to make a big push. But if they cannot get that swing, they are all getting whittled down by Wildcard Gaming's consistent pressure.
Yeah, once again, a stun going out onto Waz. He has Touch of Death rolling right now, but Maru just cyclones it up. Waz really not going to get too much value from that major offensive cooldown. Really good control here from Wildcard Gaming. Maru now getting bursted down. Raikou trying to do everything he can to start generating some pressure for his team, but Zeepai forces him to retreat back to the pillar out of line of sight. And like you said, Sid, both Raikou, Waz, they're rotting down. Waz now caught into a full stun. How much damage do they really have available? Zeepai trying to take him down, but I think Waz should ultimately survive. He has to diffuse magic, overlapped with the Touch of Karma. Chaz, in the meantime, hasn't really been able to sneak away and get a drink, so normally when your teammate has those defensive cooldowns available as a healer, you want to try to go and escape and get some mana back, but Method Black has been unfortunate in finding those opportunities. Yeah,
Maru and Zeepai have good positioning, constantly denying Method Black's drink attempts. This was a nice read on the blind pick, expecting Method Black, because they've been struggling so much with the Windwalker Death Knight, expecting Method Black to lock in a counter to that, and then picking the counter to that counter. Wildcard Gaming winning the mind game here in game number 1, and it could all come down to that blind pick victory, so that should this series swing to a game 5, they will have the map advantage and the comp advantage. So moving forward, if these teams go head-to-head in the next series, assuming that Method Black can't swing it back on a swing match, this blind pick is going to get even more interesting. We may see some even more peculiar compositions in the future. Waz is in trouble. Chaz has basically absolutely no mana left, just cowering in bear form at the pillar, trying to recover as much health as possible with Ysera's gift, but even that likely to not be enough. Waz is trying to make a push. They have basically no aggressive cooldowns to try and knock Wildcard Gaming down at this point. They're just taking more damage than they can deal. They're still stuck at the pillar. Earthquake ticking away. Morrow in position with Starfall. Incarnation coming up in 20. Stormkeeper already available. Touch of Karma 5 seconds away if Zeepai wants to go for that move. 4 seconds until that opportunity may be lost. Waz gets hexed up. Raikou with the Dispel. Chaz managed to get mana back, surprisingly, amidst all of that. Maybe a bit of a blunder on the side of Wildcard Gaming that will allow Method Black a little bit longer of a leash.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have to see what exactly can happen. 32% dampening, but Waz and Raikou, they need to start finding pressure in this matchup. Now looking for a big all-in attempt onto Morrow, hitting the Frozen Orb, but not too much else. There is Touch of Death still available, as well as the Icy Veins at 15. Maybe Raikou and Waz, they want to try to get an all-in push with those two offensives. Chaz rotting down, Zeepai, Morrow still generating a lot of pressure for the team. This is Morrow's Incarnation as he's looking to get really aggressive. This is the Touch of Death. Waz getting bursted down in a Lightning Lasso. Is he going to be able to get Karma off? Does manage to find it, making a push in the middle of the map with that cooldown. Caught into a Hex, caught into a Cyclone. Such good control coming in from Wildcard Gaming. They're just denying Method Black at every opportunity.
Yeah, another opportunity to take out Waz. Gladiator's Maledict gets to diffuse magic off. Waz holds on a bit longer. Chaz still, that drink that he got earlier is the only thing keeping their team in the match. Maybe they could potentially pull off a miracle. There's decent pressure on Morrow. He's trying to retreat away, gets Ring of Peace back into midfield for Raikou to tee off. Raikou trying to sneak in a polymorph on Looney. Looney not falling for it. Waz gets bursted. He ports nowhere. That mistake is going to cost Method Black game number 1.
Oh, ports, man.
Out mind gaming Method Black, but now Method Black, they have an opportunity to strike back in game number 2. This is their map pick on Ashmane's Fall, as well as their compositional advantage. We'll have to see what they can get done.
Looks like Raikou is employing that Mana Rift strategy, immediately going after Looney, and that is going to be very difficult for him to deal with throughout the fight. Fortunately, bringing in a Balanced Druid and an Elemental Shaman, he will have access to Cyclone and Hex. Chaz not playing the Restoration Druid will not be able to remove the Hex. There's already just good damage on Looney. I'm surprised to see this much pressure from Raikou early on. Looney has that Gladiator Safeguard. Proc moves in with Way of the Crane to try and add some damage. Maybe he's running the Grapple Weapon. That could be a strategy with the two Wizards to try and blast Swapsy down in a Lightning Lasso into a Grapple Weapon. I'm curious to see if that is something that Wildcard Gaming intend to employ here strategically. That would be one way for them to get around the Death Strike.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see if they can get that done. Chaz throwing out the Lightning Cocoon to counteract the Lightning Lasso of Zeepai on Raikou. Raikou manages to stay alive. Swapsy trades out his anti-magic shell. For pressure, it seems relatively even, but that was a lot of the offensive cooldowns available for Wildcard Gaming. That was the Incarnation, and they really didn't get too much. The anti-magic zone is a good trade for Swapsy. He's always going to have that available as long as he waits for it. Life Cocoon, a short cooldown for Chaz, so Method Black is in a favorable position right now.
The Mana Rifts keep coming. Looney trinkets out to avoid this one. Raikou overextends and gets stunned up by Morrow. Then cycloned at low health when Chaz wanted to connect some heals. Chaz is also playing the Gnome Mistweaver Monk, which is why we typically don't see a lot of Gnomes, but they are very effective against Balanced Druids, especially as a healer. So it's to avoid the Entangling Root Solar Beam combination of crowd control, which could be a win condition. This is a huge amount of pressure, a very unexpected amount of pressure from Wildcard Gaming when facing this composition that Method Black had brought forward, and they're taking full advantage of the map. If Looney can maintain his mana as healthy as he is so far, I actually think they're going to take this.
Yeah, things are looking really good for Wildcard Gaming right now, and this has been a kind of a question for us. Is Chaz on the Mistweaver Monk, and in addition to that, Zeepai on the Elemental Shaman. He always seems to make it work when other Shaman cannot, which is definitely something Wildcard Gaming has in their favor, especially with some of the purge changes. If he's just purging off all the Renewing Mist Chaz has available, it might be difficult for Chaz, and something he hasn't really had to deal with on that Mistweaver Monk.
Solar Beam landed on Chaz's cast, now into a bash. Good crowd control from Morrow. Look, gets the Cyclone off the back end of that chain, forces the Gladiator's Medallion even lower on health. Now Cyclone rotated to Raikou, and this is why, like, Morrow is so good on Balancer as well, taking his knowledge and experience on Mage, really getting good effective crowd control and setting up burst moments, really shining on the team of Wildcard Gaming right now. Definitely one of his best performances on Balanced Druid so far. Perhaps this composition is going to work out for Wildcard Gaming throughout the series. Looney is actually ahead on mana, which is not supposed to be the case when facing Mana Rift Demon Hunters.
Yeah, but the problem is, Raikou, he's just been pressured so much in this matchup. Now trading out his Blur, running in once again to the pillar. He's in some trouble. Looney's trying to close out the game. Beautiful Ring of Peace, knocking him back in line of sight of Zeepai, of Maro. What is Raikou going to do? Trying to keep himself alive with that Metamorphosis. Pressuring down, anti-magic zone gets traded out once again by Swapsy, but that's too early. Now Maro, there's a huge opportunity. In 6 seconds, Incarnation's coming up, and Wildcard Gaming could potentially take Raikou down.
Chaz is just getting bodied with crowd control so far in game number 2, and Wildcard Gaming are taking full advantage of that fact. This could easily be it for Raikou as he gets bursted down and gets KO'd. Wildcard Gaming, we thought this composition stood no chance whatsoever in the current meta.
Probably gets together. They're going to call, and they're just like, okay, how are we going to destroy them in the blind pick? And they just spend all of their time deciding how to dismantle Method Black. They're going to try to get the 3-0 here on Ruins of Lordaeron.
All right, Ruins of Lordaeron, as it is a cemetery, would be a fitting final resting place, and we're going to have to wait and see if Zeepai ends up being that weak link.
Oh, stolen joke. And this is Ruins of Lordaeron. It could potentially be a fitting final resting place for Method Black if they can't get it done here in game number 3. We're going to be stealing jokes. 2 can play that game.
And guys, keep in mind, as you see some pressure going out into Zeepai, he's going to be in that life cocoon. He could be the weak link.
All right, match point for Wildcard.
The show, man.
I know. Wildcard Gaming up 2-0 in this series with a composition that we basically counted out entirely yesterday, and already bursting Raikou down heavily, forcing multiple defensive cooldowns early on for Method Black. Finally, some counter aggression on to Maro. It does appear that Method Black are focusing much more so on just raw pressure on Maro rather than only the mana rift strategy. Looney now with Way of the Crane is going to be adding some extra damage. He gets imprisoned away, but Raikou just gets destroyed by Zeepai right now. Anti-magic zone is exchanged. Raikou is just leaving its defense. We saw this cost the game. The Ring of Peace is denying him being able to reconnect into it, but with the Soul Leech healing, it appears to be more than enough to recover and stabilize. However, Chaz playing on this Druid, you can already see the mana advantage establishing itself for Wildcard Gaming, and on Ruins of Lordaeron, I feel like it'll be very easy for Maro and Zeepai to stop him from drinking, and I can't help but feel that Method Black should have pulled out their Rogue Mage when facing this composition. It's already spiraling out of control.
Still, though, even with Chaz going to be on that healer, you know, we really saw him try to branch out in game number 2. It's nice to see him back on his roots, and I think he should be able to stave off this aggression.
Goodness gracious, what is going on? Full stun onto Zeepai. Good pressure here for Method Black. Good offensive Cyclone coming in from Chaz as well, slowing down some of the healing Looney has available. If we look at mana, this is what I was kind of afraid of. Although Raikou and Swapsy, they're putting out good pressure on Zeepai and Maro, they haven't really been landing too many mana rifts onto Looney. Finally, one's going to land onto Looney, getting a little bit of his mana down. Way of the Crane activated. Raikou taking a huge burst of damage. Activates Blur to save his life, but Chaz mana is not doing well. Already around 60%. Right now he's in stealth, trying to sneak away and get a drink. I think Zeepai is going to be able to easily shut that down. You can see him patrolling right now. As soon as Chaz gets out of stealth, I think it's likely Zeepai will deny his drink. Maro in a good position as well, and that's really what it's going to come down to for Wildcard Game. If he deny the drinks, then they're going to have a favorable matchup, but if the Black can sneak away, it's going to be bad for them.
Maro got stun locked a couple inches away from denying the drink, which now allows Chaz to reset his mana pool. Very important for the team of Method Black moving forward should they want to rely on Mana Rift and this mana burn strategy for victory. Crowd control onto Chaz. Maro is doing a great job at balancing his crowd control and his burst. Curious to see if he can pull through for another victory. We've seen Chaz consistently getting controlled in that last game. Now on Druid has a bit easier of a time avoiding it, but still could be a liability if he is caught off guard. Swapsy gets swapped too. What was that hit? 10% health remaining and then an immediate top off from Chaz, so not so scary anymore, but...
Hello, Zeepai.
I mean, if that happens, again, one less heal over time effect, Chaz isn't ready for it, or gets crowd controlled for even a millisecond, I think Wildcard Gaming are going to clean sweep this.
Yeah, I mean, things are looking good, especially if they can pull off that kind of burst damage, but mana now in favor of Method Black in this matchup. Let's see what they can get done. Swapsy getting a little bit low right now. Trades out the Icebound Fortitude. Chaz caught into a stun. Big aggressive plays here by Morrow. Swapsy could be in some trouble.
Ring of Peace.
Trades out the anti-magic zone. Ring of Peace denies that actually a little bit there. But Swapsy does manage to find his way back into the safety of that cooldown. A defensive cycle coming in with a full hex on Chaz. Beautiful crowd control from Wildcard Gaming. Swapsy has to hold on. Should be able to do so with the anti-magic zone and some death strikes, but Wildcard Gaming
Chaz is getting owned. Chaz is just getting destroyed right now. I've never seen Chaz get played like this before in a tournament setting. Wildcard Gaming are all over him. Total control. This is a matchup that I did not expect to be one-sided in favor of Wildcard Gaming at all. Finally, some counter aggression here with crowd control on Looney. Morrow gets bursted down to half, but appears to be all right. Cyclone on Raikou. Curious to see who Wildcard Gaming are going to go after next, if they're going to continue after Swapsy. This is the closest we've seen a Death Knight come to dying before Dampening, and if Looney maintains his mana, it's likely that we will be able to see them even get to deep Dampening, and if you're Method Black, that's getting scary. Chaz is stunned up. Raikou gets bursted. Stun on the follow-up by Looney. Great follow-up. Way of the Crane adding a ton of damage. Raikou on the run. He's trying to get out of line of sight, but Looney's in hot pursuit. It's 3 members of Wildcard Gaming. Chaz needs to recover with not much defense available. Actually swapping to Looney, trying to punish his push, but now Raikou gets peeled away by Morrow. Once again, good teamwork on the side of Wildcard Gaming.
Yeah, Looney does manage to portal away with that Transcendence. Actually drops a Ring of Peace. Gonna be looking to get a drink right now, but Swapsy immediately shuts it down. You can see him in a great position. Looney still way ahead on mana, though. Once again, Chaz, he might have to sneak away and get some drinks. Swapsy's getting taken down quite quickly as he makes a push onto Looney, but that's the problem. When Raikou and Swapsy, they go after Looney. Morrow, Zipai, they're able to easily punish him. Wildcard Gaming with great positioning in this matchup, making it easy for Looney to sit back, heal, and then when he needs to play catch-up, he can use that Way of the Crane, get a lot of burst damage for his team, in addition to easily top everyone off.
All right, Swapsy still the target of choice here. Double stun combo. Wildcard Gaming are just insane. Typically, we see this Elemental Shaman Boomkin comp play a boring strategy of just hiding at the pillar, running around, and trying just to live and do as much damage as possible, but they are coordinating defense and offense so perfectly together in tandem that they're making it look like they basically counter Method Black with this current composition. Zipai moves over, denies the drink. How much did Chaz get, though? He was down for a while. He may have been able to regenerate a significant amount as Dampening ramps, and it's that magic number, that 40% mark, although with this team, maybe it's 20% to take out Swapsy. Chaz needs to get ready for that. Looney now goes for a drink, but they're pressuring Morrow, and Chaz is looking to deny it. Morrow needs to be careful. If Looney gets crowd controlled on his way back, it could be devastating. Looney moves back in line of sight, chucks out that life cocoon, and then immediately line of sights any incoming crowd control, stabilizing the team. They set up a swap to Chaz. Wildcard Gaming continue to mix it up.
Yeah, Chaz under pressure right now. Barskin was used, no trinket available. Frenzied regen should be enough to keep him alive, but that was a great attempt by Wildcard Gaming. Like you said, keeping Method Black on their toes, keeping them guessing, but Method Black has found some pressure in this matchup as well. Looney consistently looking for drinks. That's an opportunity for Swapsy Raikou to start getting some damage rolling onto Zipai, onto Morrow. Mana still in favor of Wildcard Gaming, though, and Looney really, his only opportunity to drink in this matchup with the way Method Black is playing it is with that Ring of Peace. In the meantime, big damage on Raikou.
Ring of Peace knocks Raikou out of the defense of that anti-magic zone, and Wildcard Gaming have crafted a composition that could totally dominate Method Black here in the upper bracket. Crowd control secured at low health. Mana advantage significantly in favor of Wildcard Gaming. Way of the Crane available. Swapsy's getting destroyed. Anti-magic shield appears to be enough for him to stabilize. Morrow stabilizes with life cocoon as Looney tried to sneak away. I don't think he has that much opportunity, though. Morrow's under too much fire. Looney moves in. This could be the last push of the match if they want to commit that Way of the Crane. They go for it, but Raikou denies it. Looney trinkets out. He could get punished on his trinket. Where's the punish from Method Black? Doesn't look like they have it. Looney rolls over, tries to stop Chaz from drinking. He doesn't know where he is. They manage to find it. Swapsy gets bursted down. The Lightning Lasso combo. Double stun. Crowd control looks solid. Swapsy trades, but it's a little bit late. He manages to recover, but 20% more dampening. That Death Strike is not going to allow him to recover like that again, and they still have the mana advantage.
Yep, definitely, and they've been doing a much better job making sure Chaz can't sneak away for those drinks. Looney a little bit vulnerable right now with no life cocoon for another, I guess, only 6 seconds. Once that's up, I think Wildcard Gaming is going to be A-OK. Swapsy with not too much defense left, getting bursted down, lower and lower. No anti-magic shell. Ironbark trades out from Chaz. Swapsy trying to get out of line of sight, but the lightning lasso might have taken him down. Good bash by Chaz, realizing he probably couldn't heal through the damage. He had no choice but to stop the lightning lasso. That was a really good read. It's one of the only reasons Swapsy's still alive.
Wildcard Gaming are thirsty for blood here in game number 3, and also thirsty for mana. Looney just drank back to full. This is a huge advantage for Wildcard Gaming as we get closer to that magic 40% mark. Looney pulls the trigger on Way of the Crane. That's going to add a huge amount of damage that Chaz does not have the mana to deal with. All 3 members of Wildcard Gaming are just going right through Swapsy. Chaz still crowd controlled. Nothing left. Retreating back for 2 more seconds. Needs to make it to the anti-magic zone, but Ring of Peace could deny it. Does he have the Death's Advance to remove the knockback effect? Maro gets pressure, but Swapsy's still low. Who's going to fall first? Anti-magic zone. Where's the Ring of Peace? He gets thunderstormed out of it by Z-Pie. Great knockbacks. Good denial. Swapsy makes his way back in. The Stormkeeper almost closing it out. Chaz manages to recover and stall the fight out a bit longer, but we are now 12% away from that 40% magic number. And at that point, if you're Swapsy, you're not getting out of this alive.
I mean, Chaz, look at his mana. There's nothing left for Chaz. If he can sneak away for a drink, it's going to be huge. Z-Pie has to deny it. Chaz is going to recover so much of his mana. He literally had nothing. Oh, this is a blunder for Wildcard Gaming. You're going to be able to recover a lot. And now Wildcard Gaming is actually falling a little bit behind, even on mana now. Both teams are. Maro down to 40% health. Looney with not too much to keep him alive. Might have to use that Way of the Crane, but that is such an expensive spell. Wildcard Gaming, if they consistently have to rely on that Way of the Crane, they could be burning through their mana so quickly.
All right, let's see. Wildcard Gaming are so close to being able to find victory here. 8% more dampening, but Looney's expended a lot of mana trying to get aggressive before that point. Perhaps he should have just been patient and waited it out. We'll have to wait and see. Swapsy trades, overlapped with Ironbark. Big mistake, stack up for a double stun. Good punish by Looney. Where's the follow-up? No one's in line of sight to get follow-up crowd control. Wildcard Gaming are just dogpiling on top of Method Black here to close it out. Huge lightning lasso, Way of the Crane once again. Looney goes all in for the kill. How can Chaz keep him up? He's got the tiniest bit of mana left to do it. If they don't get a kill here, Looney's almost tapped on mana. Swapsy on the run. He's managed to avoid death. Chaz recovers. Mana evens out. This is still anyone's match.
Yeah, definitely. Now full bash on Chaz. Do they have any follow-up crowd control? Maro getting pressured down. He might have been playing a little bit too aggressive here with Looney with no safety nets left. There's no Way of the Crane for 30 seconds, no life cocoon for 50 seconds. Method Black now have an opportunity to get really aggressive. Looney also has no trinket, so even if he can get the Way of the Crane, if Raikou and Swapsy can find some crowd control, they might be able to just deny it. Meantime, though, Swapsy getting bursted down. Huge damage coming in from Maro. Swapsy's still just trying to run, use this pillar to avoid any incoming spell damage from Wildcard Gaming. He does manage to stabilize. Method Black stay in.
1% dampening away from the magic 40% marker, but Z-Pie could die before it. He pre-astral shifts the incoming stun, stabilizes. One more Way of the Crane possibly left in the tank for Looney. They can combine it with Innervate. They are going to have a Way of the Crane. They go for it. It's all or nothing at this point for Wildcard Gaming. It's the 40% mark. They need to take Swapsy down. Will they be able to do it? Triple stun. Nice Ring of Peace onto the anti-magic zone. Good denial. Follow-up stun. Perfect execution. Swapsy holds on by a thread. How on earth is he still alive at this point? Overlapping now with the Ironbark anti-magic shield. That defense will be fading shortly, and once it is gone, there is nothing left for Swapsy to stay alive. It's just going to be a dance with death, and Swapsy needs to make the decision soon. Does he push forward, or does he try and run and hide? It looks like pushing forward is the option of choice currently. Chaz is trying to sneak for a drink. Maro's getting pressured. He's not able to allow Looney to sit down for a drink. Would have liked to see this lightning lasso on Swapsy instead. Potentially the interrupts available dictated that one, but now Chaz has to heal 2 members with 0 mana. Looney has to do the same, and surprisingly, this is still anyone's fight.
Swapsy in a lot of trouble. A beautiful Ring of Peace coming in from Looney once again, denying the darkness of Raikou. Swapsy has to retreat. Z-Pie Looney all over him. Way of the Crane gets used. Can they take him down? Yes, they do. Wildcard Gaming with this Moonkin Elemental Shaman 3-0. Method Black sending them to the lower bracket.
If you say he's a little bit worse, but he can then play the Monk at the same exact level. That is a huge asset to have. And right now, if you're an NA fan, I agree with Zico. The boys are probably going to be your best hope at LAN. LAN is so crucial to get to because that is going to give the first spot of the year to go all the way to the finals. And now the gates are open. Change My Mind decides to spice things up by bringing in Valet on the blind. He's instantly receiving pressure.
Curious to see how it plays out with Minpoike on Druid rather than Restoration Shaman. Good life grip from Valet, pulling Minpoike out of the Mana Rift. Nice shackle on the Abomination as well. Shadow Priest utility definitely used effectively in the starting stages of this fight, but then moving forward, Valet is still just getting pressured right now. They drop the smoke bomb. They go for an early kill on Raikou. Gladiators Maledicts, multiple incoming, huge stun combo. Trinket Darkness, barely enough for Raikou to stay alive. Maybe not even enough. Blur as well. Multiple defensive cooldowns pulled with the anti-magic zone. Basically everything except Chaz's cooldowns. That's the most pressure we've really seen from Change My Mind facing Method Black, but inevitably they did not net a kill. So they've got a window of time to try and find one. They've got Vendetta. They could make a move with that. Acro is pressuring Chaz, trying to make him make a mistake in terms of cooldown management, maybe bait an Iron Bark or something, but not finding it. Just running around the corner. They go for the swap to Chaz. Can Valet get over there? I don't think that he can, and I doubt that Acro is going to be able to solo Chaz. That was a decent swap with no Gladiator's Medallion, but without the Shadow Priest support, due to the fact that Valet is just pinned in center field, they do not have enough damage to push Chaz over.
Definitely not. And then Poike gets gripped in into an Asphyxiate stun. Mana Rift lands on him. Mana in favor still of Change My Mind. Change My Mind putting in a lot of pressure. I think that last Vendetta would have been much better placed onto Raikou. If they could have got some crowd control onto Chaz, got the Vendetta attempt onto Raikou, I think he could have easily fallen. He didn't have any sort of defensive cooldowns whatsoever, so Change My Mind, I think just a bit of a targeting error there on their last attempt on Chaz, but you can't really blame them. Pressuring down the Restoration Druid is usually pretty strong in this matchup. Raikou at about 50% health right now. Chaz trying to play catch up. There's been good pressure on the side of Method Black for Change My Mind. And this is really the best we've seen them look.
Yeah, this may be the answer for Method Black's composition, potentially, but is it enough for all the other options that Method Black have available, should they even manage to overcome it here in game number 1? We do see Acro pressuring Chaz, a similar strategy we saw Peekaboo and WizK utilize when facing these Death Knight melee cleaves, where you have the Rogue pressure the healer, the Shadow Priest focus on denying damage and pressuring back both of the melee players as much as possible. This is a way to create pressure on 2 locations and then force the healer, in this case Chaz, to potentially make a mistake on his defensive cooldown management. So far, the only mistake that we've seen is an overlap of Darkness and Anti-Magic Zone, but it was a fair exchange with the Smoke Bomb. Unfortunately, there's still a window of opportunity before it's available where they could find a kill. They managed to pull the Gladiator's Medallion from Chaz with the blind. Raikou Shadow melts the Gladiator's Maledict, avoiding that absorption effect. Good usage on his part, but Chaz is the one who is behind on mana. And once again, that is surprising because Raikou is running the Mana Rift strategy. It is not typical to see the opposing healer out-mana the Mana Rift Druid. So, in this current position, I actually think that Change My Mind are going to pull it off.
They definitely could, and that's one of the things we've seen teams sort of implement, is if you pressure Raikou enough, you make him scared. He doesn't have that same sort of uptime on the enemy Restoration Druid of Minpoike as we normally see. Now charging forward, looking for a Mana Rift, and Minpoike trinkets out. Right now, Change My Mind, they're doing a really good job. Minpoike, he's trading out his trinket to avoid Mana Rifts. Valet, he'll use his Leap of Faith to grip Minpoike out of Mana Rifts. And that's 2 escapes that Change My Mind has that they can rotate through to deny Raikou. In addition to that, they have a lot of pressure on Raikou, so this is why we're seeing Method Black kind of fall behind in terms of mana. Great pressure. There's a Psychic Core onto Chaz. A beautiful death grip there by Swapsy, denying Valet's follow-up Psychic Core. That was nice crowd control denial by Method Black, and maybe the only reason Raikou's still alive.
Blur force from Raikou once again as Valet goes into Void form. Double Psychic Scream. Good crowd control. Raikou cannot reverse magic. He's in a bit of trouble. Low on health. Sap out of the Psychic Scream. Great setup by Acro. Darkness is the last line of defense here for Raikou as Chaz sits through crowd control. Minpoike follows it up. The chain looks solid. Raikou could fall if they've got any more left. They don't. They drop the Smoke Bomb. Raikou is able to escape. Minpoike now gets stunned up. Life Grip to avoid the Mana Rift. Good teamwork between Minpoike and Valet. The only reason why Minpoike's mana is even, but now that it is even, that's the same as being behind when facing the Mana Rift, so it's slowly slipping away for Change My Mind. We've got a couple more opportunities to find a kill. Blind available shortly, likely to pull the Gladiator's Medallion of Chaz. Then the Vendetta in 50 seconds from Acro. If they don't get a kill with that Vendetta, I think that Method Black are taking this.
Yeah, it's going to be very scary for Change My Mind moving forward. Method Black have completely stabilized in the situation. Valet trying to help up Mpoike just a little bit with the Vampiric Embrace, getting a little bit of healing from the amount of damage that he deals with that cooldown. Full blind on Chaz, he trinkets out. What is Acro going to do? Gets a full kidney shot. Valet loading him up with Shadow Priest damage over time effects. They're looking for an all-in on Chaz. He bark skins. What else do they have available? Not too much. There's no darkness. There's no anti-magic zone. Chaz has to escape, but Swapsy with good backup once again. The Death Grip onto Acro, Chains of Ice. Look at how difficult it is for Acro to move in, although he uses his Vanish. Who's he going to open on? Is he just going to continue this all-in onto Chaz? I'm not sure. I completely agree with this.
Chaz switching his talents, running that Renewal, expecting to be the main target for Change My Mind. He gets a bonus heal rather than some mobility. There's an opportunity, as I was pointing out earlier, for Vendetta, and that's basically it. If Acro doesn't get a kill within the next couple of seconds, I don't think that they ever will. They've got everything available. Valet needs to build up some insanity if he wants to go in Void Form and assist Acro. Chaz exchanges Iron Bark for Vendetta and the Anti-Magic Zone. That should be more than enough, unless Valet can get in position and support right as that Anti-Magic Zone fades. Valet is focusing too much on trying to create pressure on the Demon Hunter and Death Knight. They just don't take damage to the Shadow Priest dots. Valet now has to disperse. He's going to recover. Acro pulls back to try and support, creating pressure onto two places. And the split strategy may be enough potentially. Are there any more Gladiators Maledicts for the team of Change My Mind? It doesn't appear to be, and now Valet falls behind. He void shifts over to Mpoike. Frenzied Regeneration allows him to recover. Good communication between Valet and Mpoike throughout. No significant mistakes on their part, but still unable to develop pressure in favor of their team, and the mana is totally even. Not what you want to see at this point in Dampening. Chaz is likely to sit down for a drink. He's just distracting them, even if he doesn't get it. Valet still low on health. Mpoike still low on health. Nothing left in the tank in terms of mana. It's do or die, but I think it's looking more like die as Valet is going to fall in game number 1. 16-0. 2 more wins to go. Team of the move when facing these cleave compositions. He is the one who is going to have to set up everything for the team. I do think moving forward, should Change My Mind lose here, I would love to just even Mpoike Mistweaver, do an all-in kill on Chaz, try and run him over, at least just to put a point on the board, to break the curse, to break the slump. You don't want to go into the LAN 18-0 against Method Black. Do appreciate them trying different compositions outside of their comfort zone. Mpoike trying to fish for a Hibernate. Chaz dodges it, goes for a Cyclone. That could be devastating for Valet as he's interrupted low on health. Now Mpoike stunned into a Mana Rift. Ursul's Vortex on the life grip. Good counter by Chaz. Great initiation by Chaz, banking them huge pressure.
Yeah, Method Black was just heating up. Another Cyclone on him, and Mpoike. Valet could be forced into an early dispersion here. Does still have a lot of cooldowns he can rotate through. I think Change My Mind. It will stabilize here, but here's the attempt. Kidney shot, smoke bomb onto Raikou. Anti-magic zone gets dropped out.
Oh!
Swapsy, a lot of pressure, but he should be able to survive. Darkness gets dropped down. These are the attempts we're talking about.
If there was a Ring of Peace, they just remove the darkness. And they could just kill him, I swear, if they just had Ring of Peace on this composition.
Yeah, it could have been the light that they need to remove the darkness, but unfortunately that's not going to happen. And Mpoike with no trinket can be vulnerable. Valet getting lower. Big burst damage here by Swapsy and Raikou. Silence on Chaz's trinket. Raikou in a full kidney shot. Do they have the damage to take him down? Valet really not using mind control too much in this matchup. I'm kind of wondering why Change My Mind did pick this map. I guess Chaz doesn't have a lot of room to run and hide. Hacker will be able to bounce around between targets a lot more on a map like Blade's Edge, especially if they're playing on the upper side of the bridge.
Right, that was the big attack that we saw similarly to game number 1, but it didn't get a kill, so it's going to be some time until Change My Mind can build that much momentum again to potentially take out Method Black. Good crowd control on Chaz. Raikou cross crowd controlled as well. Instant interrupt on the I-beam, denying a lot of damage from Raikou, but even still, Valet getting chopped up. Mana is even. You do not want to be even when facing the Mana Rift Demon Hunter. Oh, Valet mixing it up is running Mind Bomb instead of Psychic Scream, realizing that his mobility is heavily limited with a Death Knight casting Chains of Ice. He can then use the Mind Bomb as a ranged crowd control. This may be an interesting adaptation that nets them a kill on Raikou later on.
Yeah, we'll have to see how exactly that plays out. So far, Method Black, they're looking good. Raikou still has his trinket available. Mana, actually relatively even at this point in the game. Chaz did sneak away, or potentially sneak away for a drink, but Acro was able to use his Vanish and actually land a sap. That's where a lot of that earlier crowd control stemmed from. So good denial there by Acro and Valet, and I think on this map it could be really difficult for Chaz to actually escape and recover some of that mana. Whereas Minpoike right now, he's in stealth. I wonder if he's actually drinking right now. This could be huge for Change My Mind.
All right, so let's see. He's managed to reset completely. They've got the Gladiator's Medallion from Chaz. This is an opportunity for Vendetta in 20 seconds. And with that huge mana lead, Change My Mind could potentially be saving Rich's mustache as I speak.
I don't know about that one.
Me neither.
Honestly, I'm kind of rooting for Method Black at this point.
You don't like it?
Just to get rid of the must. No, I do like it. I do like it, but I think it would be funny if you had to shave it off. All right. Let's see what's going on in the game. Method Black, they've fully recovered at this point.
He loves the look, but he just wants you to feel pain, is basically what he just said.
Ben came up to me today and showed me a picture of Gamescom last year and went, you looked really good back then. What was different? Wow, dude.
Ricky's just flaming everyone. Mind bomb into Sap. That was really well timed by Acro. They need to get pressure out with that crowd control chain. That Mind Bomb adaptation may potentially open up a window for Change My Mind to find victory. Chaz is still crowd controlled. Riker's locked down for 2 more seconds. Darkness 1 second away. Silence on Chaz. Now they're trying to hold on to it. Greedy play to try and hold on to it. Very low on health. Full Cyclone secured. Darkness, can you get a mind control? Maybe anything to pull him out of the defense. They use Mind Bomb defensively, I guess, to save the diminishing return. Smoke Bomb right at the end of the darkness, but Raikou is able to retreat out. They need just the tiniest bit more damage. My tiniest bit more damage. Chaz gets crowd controlled. Insane play from Change My Mind. They need to purge off that Gladiator safeguard.
No way.
No way.
No
way.
Change My Mind cannot believe it. Raikou manages to stay alive. Iron Bark going to be enough from Chaz. Raikou just dancing with death, dancing circles around Change My Mind in order to survive. A nice Cyclone coming in from Minpoike once again. Another one on the Chaz. Honestly, Minpoike's been doing such a good job on that Restoration Druid. This crowd control really setting up his team. Kidney shot full on to Raikou. Do they have the damage? Finally take him down to triple Chaos Nova denies. Once again, Raikou just going to be kiting around on that Demon Hunter, avoiding a lot of damage. Still low though. Chaz not out of crowd control, has to play catch up at this point.
16-1, the dream? Maybe, potentially for Change My Mind. They still have huge mana leads. They've got Vendetta with no darkness. Dampening is entered. Potentially they make it to the 40% mark if they need to rely on that. Maybe they don't need to. Where is Chaz though? He's not able to sneak away. Minpoike's looking for Cyclones. Chaz trinkets out of blind. Now that Mind Bomb Sap. That could be a way for Acrolals to find victory. Beautiful talent change from Valet, mixing it up even though not changing classes, and now they've got huge momentum. Chaz is totally tapped on mana. Raikou needs to be careful if he overextends. He's got no darkness to rely on. Raikou jumps downstairs to stop Minpoike from drinking, but he overextends. Now caught out of line of sight. Chaz barely connects Iron Bark in time. Anti-magic zone appears to be enough. Raikou is still very low on health, and Chaz is cycloned. Gladiator safeguard procs. Raikou gets stunned up. They need more crowd control. They can't get it. Minpoike is denied. Chaz dispels. Very risky dispel with Raikou that low on health. Overgrowth, though, now stabilizes, but that's the last overgrowth of the game. Chaz is totally tapped on mana. Where's the Mind Bomb? I want to see a Mind Bomb Sap. They already used the Vanish. They can't go for it. Cheap shot. Potentially Mind Bomb out. Mind Bomb, but on diminishing return. Mistakes here on that diminishing return. Lose an opportunity for Change My Mind.
Yeah, but Change My Mind, they're still looking really good in this matchup. They have so many defensive cooldowns. Minpoike has a mana lead. Raikou just running and hiding at this point, allowing Swapsy to sort of pull aggro from Acro and Valet. Still has some defensives he can rotate to, but good pressure here for Change My Mind. Chaz caught in some crowd control. Swapsy could just fall. Anti-magic shell should be able to deny for long enough for Swapsy to actually get healed up just a little bit, but now Swapsy's having to run. This is a momentum shift for Change My Mind like we've never seen before. Swapsy and Raikou playing a little bit scared.
All right, let's see what they can get done here. We're not at that 40% mark, but Swapsy is totally exposed in terms of defensive cooldowns. Smoke Bomb comes up in 15 seconds. If they can catch Swapsy in a Smoke Bomb, potentially KO him. Where's Chaz? Gets denied on his drink. Valet's in Void form. He's going to be ramping up. Raikou tries to slow him down. Valet trinkets out. Swapsy uses that every man for himself when it was just Acro, but he's out of line of sight of Chaz. He's actually taking a huge amount of damage. A bit unexpected from Change My Mind. Are they going to break the slump? Chaz gets reversed out of the Mind Bomb just in time, but 0 mana left in the tank. Poike's got Innervate rolling for a couple seconds. He can potentially stabilize the team for one more big push. Vendetta and 14, Shadow Fiend available. Change My Mind have powerhouse cooldowns available, but no mana to go past that point. Chaz is just running around the bridge like a jungle gym looking to try and find a drink, but I think his mom did not pack an extra juice box, and Poike jumps in, denies the drink. Raiku's overextended, Valet dips low. Blur trades, Gladiator's Maledict's incoming. Raikou is dispelled out of that, bashed up. Raikou recovers, Valet now on the back foot. And Poike has more mana. Double defensive Mind Bomb, at least removing Swapsy from the fight. Valet is playing out of his mind to try and break this slump right now.
Darkness gets dropped. Raikou barely surviving once again. How is he still alive? Darkness, the last line of defense. There's nothing left for Method Black. Chaz has to heal on fumes. Acro with the beautiful interrupt. Change My Mind, looking to take down Method Black. Finally, can they take him down? Raikou just dancing around. Finally take him down. Change My Mind, change the result of this matchup.
As I watch Rich with a comb. You have a comb for your mustache.
Hey, just because you don't need a comb doesn't mean I don't.
Wow, that's a little.
I'm done.
That's a little bad manner. Acro moving in. What is he going to get done? Cheap shot on the Swapsy. We saw in the last game, it was actually Raikou who was pressured for most of it, and I think Change My Mind, that's going to be their main target of choice once again. Kidney shot on Raikou. I'm curious to see if Valet is going to be staying with that Mind Bomb adaptation onto Chaz, or if he's going to go back to the Psychic Core. I think Mind Bomb worked out really well for him in the last game, so I expect that crowd control to stay the same.
All right, let's see when Change My Mind decide to pull the trigger on their first big push. Gripped into a triple stun. This is devastating. Method Black could swing the momentum. They go for a Smoke Bomb counterattack. They're trying to bait Method Black to overextend. They're not falling for the bait. The Smoke Bomb has faded. Potentially they go all in, try and punish this underreaction. And Poike secures a Cyclone. Crowd control solid. The anti-magic zone now appears to be enough for Raikou as he is protected inside this purple bubble, opting to just leave the protection of the bubble immediately. No crowd control to follow up just yet. Now Valet will be on the back foot and looking to stabilize. And Poike pre-Iron Barks that incoming attack. Now they look to counter-engage with a silence. Acro Shadow steps over. Are they going to do it?
They might be able to take Raikou down. Darkness gets dropped. How are they going to push through this? Right now, it doesn't look like they're able to. Raikou using that cover of Darkness to stay alive in this situation. Chaz still with no Iron Bark is going to have to play catch up, but a Mind Bomb secured by Valet. And Poike in a good position to follow it up if he really needs to. Now he doesn't find the Cyclone. Nice attempt there by Raikou to deny that incoming crowd control to keep him alive.
Valet and Akram and Poike are playing absolutely bonkers here in this series against Method Black. They've definitely stepped up their game. Curious to see what they can prepare for the spring finals, if they're going to be diversifying their roster or just continue focusing on mastery and focusing on only their mains. It's going to be a decision that they need to make moving forward towards LAN. In this series, it seems to have finally been paying off, putting a game against Method Black. Crowd control initiated. Mind Bomb gets reversed by Raikou. Bash to follow up. Valet trying to dig in for a blur from Raikou, not finding enough damage to force it. I like these instant interrupts on I-Beam. Acro removing a lot of damage from the fight with that immediate reaction time. Mana is still in favor of Change My Mind. Darkness out of the way, anti-magic zone out of the way, and Vendetta is shortly going to be available, and I'm curious to see where Acro decides to place it, potentially moving forward for a blind to try and bait Chaz to use Gladiator's Medallion, and then we see a swap. Chaz is in stealth. He's trying to drink. Acro tries to find him with Fan of Knives, but Chaz was able to avoid it. He's still in stealth. He's not seen. They don't know where he is. They don't know how much mana he's managed to get, but he does not manage to get any. Change My Mind all over him, and this map is starting to backfire.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have to see exactly how it works out. When Poike with that mana lead and Raikou under so much pressure, things aren't looking good. Full sap onto Chaz. Nicely done. Vendetta gets committed onto Raikou. He uses his blur, anti-magic zone, trades again from Swapsy with that Vendetta. Raikou still under a lot of pressure. Ironbark looking to deny the kill. Chaz dispels Raikou, but now caught in additional crowd control. Raikou having to run away once again, and Change My Mind. They've just been having so much pressure in these last 3 games. This is looking like a completely different matchup than we've seen in the last month.
And Poike hops in, gets a bash, Mind Bomb. Oh, but it ends up breaking. Unfortunate. I believe Valet's Void Form activation broke it. Maybe it doesn't matter. Raikou just taking so much damage right now. Acro moves to close. Can he connect? He can't make it. Swapsy peels him away, but Chaz is still cycloned. Raikou is hanging on by a thread. Ursul's Vortex holds him in place. Acro moves over, reconnects, but they need crowd control. Ursul's Vortex pulls Raikou back in the fight. Kidney shot instantly on the I-beam. Acro has been shutting Raikou down instantly, time and time again, really creating huge windows for his team. Now Cyclone low health by Minpoike as they look to reset the crowd control on Chaz. Trinket out of blind. Minpoike fishing for another hibernate. Any of these hibernates may be enough for Change My Mind. Close the fight out. Chaz needs to be ready for it. Raikou still on the run. We've never really seen Method Black have such a difficult time in a tournament, and moving forward to the spring finals, this is gonna get things interesting there. I'm really happy to see Change My Mind with this type of performance.
Yeah, they are playing out of their minds at this point in the game. Chaz in stealth right now. I don't think he's gonna be able to escape for a drink. Full stun onto Acro. Good peels by Swapsy. Honestly, to Swapsy's credit, he's been doing a really good job on point with his defensive cooldowns as well as his peels, making it very difficult for Acro and Valet to chase down Raikou, and that's one of the problems. They get good pressure onto Raikou, but because the Demon Hunter has so much mobility and Chaz is always positioned very far away, that Method Black can work as a unit where Raikou and Chaz, they run away. They get behind the pillar. Swapsy keeps snares on everyone and denies them to actually seal the deal onto Raikou, because they are just getting him so low consistently in this match and just don't have enough damage to really end it.
This next push has to, I believe, be a swap to Chaz. Anti-magic zone for Vendetta. Seems like they're still just pressuring Raikou. Mind control on the Mana Rift. Trying to stall out some of that, but it ends up breaking early. Minpoike is now even with Chaz. Not what you want to see in this specific matchup. Things are starting to get out of control for Change My Mind with this Vendetta banking them. Only a blur. You would typically want to see more than that. Chaz bashed up. What can they get off this? Mind Bomb. Crowd control is solid. 3 seconds away. 2 seconds away. 1 second away. Raikou has to Trinket out. Chaz gets sapped out of the Mind Bomb. This crowd control chain that Change My Mind have brought in, the Mind Bomb into sap, is sick to say the least. Another sap. Acro's all over Chaz right now. Continuing the chain with the silence. That Gladiator safeguard gets dispelled off. Raikou's so low on health. Valet just needs to get in line of sight. Minpoike moves in. He's trying to get a Cyclone. Can he get the Cyclone? Right as the diminishing return ends, he gets Mind Frozen. Minpoike needs to keep going for it if they want to keep their momentum, but Valet's being counter-aggressed back. Mind Bomb secured again. Raikou in trouble. Ducking around the corner, catching an I-beam in that Metamorphosis. Likely to not go down, but if they can make a big push, if they can survive another 50 seconds to Acro's Vendetta, potential for Change My Mind.
That was such a sick play by Change My Mind, but Raikou just reacting beautifully, running away, hiding when he needed to. Now Blur is rotated back up. Chaz has Iron Bark. They can deny the next attempt from Change My Mind as long as they react to the situation appropriately. Chaz in stealth right now, potentially sneaking away for a drink. If he can recover mana, it's going to be huge for Method Black.
All right, let's see what they can get done. Where's the denial? Oh, he was distracted by Acro into a blind. Oh, I was almost expecting Acro to Shadow Step Kidney Shot Chaz on his Trinket, but ends up going after Swapsy. Maybe just trying to stall the fight. And Poike trying to babysit Chaz. And more like kitty sit here is trying to stop him from drinking in cat form. But not able to. Now initiating crowd control. Bash hibernates. Not going to go for it. Instead just running away. Bash into silence. Fishing for more cooldowns. They managed to pull Blur, but they're still going for it. They get the kidney shot. Good crowd control, but as it fades, Chaz can connect Iron Bark. He doesn't have mana. Everything's going to come down to momentum. Can Change My Mind develop enough damage here to push Raikou over so Chaz just cannot heal with how limited his mana is. The same can be said for Method Black. Everything's going to come down to the last couple of seconds.
Yeah, definitely. And Valet on that Shadow Priest, keep in mind, that's some of the changes we saw. He's able to use that Dispel Magic quite often. I think that's why they have so much pressure on Raikou. Chaz, he puts up the heal over time effects and then just get dispelled off immediately by Valet. And at this point in Dampening, with Chaz having absolutely no mana left, I don't know how he can heal up Raikou. It's looking like Change My Mind is going to claim game number 3, and they do. Method Black, they need a different answer because this is not looking like a matchup in there of the two teams. Who would do better?
Yeah, I think we will get back to that. I also still am your biggest fan.
Thank you. Love you too.
Just hugging out.
Yeah.
Good job. Change My Mind are about to hug each other if they can manage to make it through Method Black, but this is a composition matchup that we've seen happen in North America, and it does not look too good for the Shadow Priest Rogue, so they are going to have to battle against all odds here on match point, but they've finally broken their slump, at least against Method Black. Let's see what Waz can do substituting in on that Windwalker.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to see what exactly he can get done. Waz Walker coming in for a second game of the day. Fully getting pressured down already quite early. Touch of Death has been committed. What can they really get done? Chaz, like we kind of talked about, he's going to be a pressure point for the team. Acro kind of knows that, so he's moving forward, trying to see if Chaz is going to be making any mistakes, seeing what kind of pressure he can generate. But in the meantime, Valet's getting low, forced into dispersion, and Poike's going to have to play catch-up. Waz doing a great job with Swapsy to really pressure Change My Mind.
Waz gets bursted. Chaz is in crowd control. How are they going to respond? Any mistakes on match point? And that's it for Method Black in this tournament. And that is a poor display, to say the least, for their team overall, as we expect them to dominate the competition, but they're falling behind. Chaz trades Leverkusen. Pressure is developing. Waz carrying the team, tons of damage. When Poike connects a couple regrowths, stabilizes for now. Now in crowd control, though, could still be trouble for Valet. Waz continues to push forward, and Poike uses that Gladius Medallion to get out of crowd control and start healing. Chaz is locked down in crowd control. Acro doing that split strategy, trying to create pressure into 2 points. Sets up for a Cyclone off the back of the stun from Poike. Good pressure on Waz. He ports away, but he's very far away from Chaz. How's Chaz going to get back to his team? Waz may need a Karma. Chaz can't make his way back. He's cycloned on the way of the crane. He's trying to use that to heal through the line of sight, but Waz is still very far out of range. Finally, the way of the crane heals connect. Waz stays alive. Bit of a close call, and like I said, any mistake, and that's it for Method Black.
Yeah, look at mana though, man. Poike already around 45%, so in terms of mana, Change My Mind falling a little bit behind. Chaz now into a full KD shot. What is Acro going to be able to get done? Nice ring of peace there by Waz to back him up. Double leg sweep coming in. Valet, what are you going to do? You're going to fall. And Method Black shows they still got it, tying up this series 2-2, but
they may finally break the curse and take a series off Method Black, have a good shot at Wildcard Gaming as well. And this is exactly the type of momentum and morale building that they needed before the spring finals.
Yep, definitely. One of these teams after this game will be marching towards the grand finals to play against Wildcard Gaming. Wildcard Gaming, I'm sure, is waiting in anticipation to see how exactly this matchup plays out. Both mages, center field, going to be building up damage with their Frostbolts early on. Sap has been found on the Swapsy by Acro. Both Druids, actually just Chaz sitting in stealth right now. Who are they going to open up on? And Poike finding an early Cyclone. And then Poike actually playing the Balance Affinity right now, looking to avoid some of that crowd control from Raikou and extending the range on his spells. But maybe Swapsy and Raikou can make a swap on him and Poike and punish that offensive talent decision.
Likely Swapsy running the Spirit Wolf Spectral Recovery build on Shaman, so he's going to be focusing heavily on Ghost Wolf to survive through these attacks. And what needs to happen is that we see the Mage of Fried Kitty remove the Ghost Wolf with Spell Steal frequently during the kidney shot moments. If they can coordinate that together, Swapsy is likely to go down. Currently decent damage towards Fried Kitty, but with Icy Veins activated, you would expect that Swapsy needs to be afraid. Stunned up out of Ghost Wolf. Good opportunity, but Chaz connected an Iron Bark right before that crowd control chain started. This Iron Bark is reducing a significant amount of damage, allowing Swapsy to get out of the stun and start running and easily survive. Nice read by Chaz.
Yeah, good denial of crowd control by Raikou. He got 3 sheeps on a Fried Kitty, denying his damage, denying the follow-up crowd control, and then landed a nice counterspell on Poike as well. So good plays. Raikou's going to have to play point guard for his team right now. Swapsy, for the most part, is going to be tunneled down by Acro. A lot of pressure going to be there, and Raikou is going to be the one that has to stop the crowd control, start building momentum for his team.
Fried Kitty is just getting destroyed right now, very low on health. And Poike got counterspelled on a Cyclone. His team's falling behind, now stable with Iron Bark. Fried Kitty likely to go for a push here shortly, has Frozen Orb available. Currently waiting to see when they're going to initiate the attack. They've got a big mana advantage at least, even if they want to just keep focusing on pressure. Fried Kitty under fire, triple crowd control for Method Black. Can't count them out just yet. It's match point, and they could take this. Advance for a rematch. Full Polymorph snuck in on the Poike. He has to use the Gladiator's Medallion. Gets Polymorphed again on the Gladiator's Medallion. Fried Kitty, this could be an ice block. So low on health. Huge damage from Raikou. He's been left open while Swapsy's being pressured. Still lots of damage. No defense other than ice block. Poike out of line of sight with Tranquility, manages to stabilize, but again, even the slightest mistake could cause Change My Mind the match.
Yeah, definitely. You can never count Method Black out of a matchup like this. Their backs are against the wall right now, but they're looking for that rematch against Wildcard Gaming. Full bash onto Poike, Polymorph on a Fried Kitty. Acro still trying to generate some pressure for onto Swapsy. There's the Kleptomania coming in from Fried Kitty. Taking a lot of pressure now. Swapsy getting low. Full Polymorph onto Chaz. Is he going to trinket out of it? Swapsy trying to kite away. Good Polymorph there by Raikou in order to slow Acro's damage just a little bit onto Swapsy. But Swapsy in this Ghost Wolf is just so durable. It's difficult for Acro and the Fried Kitty to really take him down outside of that kidney shot.
The main objective was to get Astral Shift without Vendetta. Now those cooldowns are not lined up, and Acro looks like he's actually making a swap, but Fried Kitty wasn't ready. He got blasted while they tried to make that swap and had to ice block. So now that Vendetta advantage is lost, and they're put behind on defensive cooldowns moving forward. Fried Kitty gets cycloned up. Mana in favor of Minpoike. Chaz needs to try and work on finding a drink. He's currently in cat form, far away from the fight, and is sitting down. Is anyone going to stop him? Instead, they just go for the kill. It's going to be a bit of a race. Acro gets thunderstormed away. Not able to connect. Swapsy survives the stun. Chaz drank to a mana advantage, and things are now looking good for Method Black.
Yeah, Acro getting a little bit of pressure here on Raikou, but Raikou controlling him up. Icy Veins has been used by Raikou. He's trying to get really aggressive on a Fried Kitty. If they can get the second ice block, this is going to be huge for Method Black. Fried Kitty just being a punching bag in center field right now for Swapsy and Raikou. If there's any crowd control on him in Poike, he can burst him down. Raikou with a nice blink counterspell on him in Poike, denying his cyclone. Fried Kitty now getting aggressive with his own Icy Veins on a Raikou. This could be his first ice block in the match, but no. Chaz denies it. Good healing, as both mages are hovering around 50% health.
Lightning Lasso. Acro can't support. Lots of damage. Minpoike tried to deny the kill. With Iron Bark, it appears to be enough. I'm almost wondering if we see Change My Mind change targets, or if they're content with continuing this chase after Swapsy. They do actually switch to Raikou. Chaz gets interrupted. Good initiation on Acro's part. This could net them an ice block if they can continue the chain. Not able to, unfortunately. Chaz now connects a lot of heals and gets a cyclone of his own onto Minpoike. Fried Kitty could be in trouble. Lightning Lasso, triple crowd control, looks solid from Method Black, and despite being compositionally disadvantaged, they have good momentum. They're even on mana, and as Dampening begins, still anyone's game.
Yep, definitely. Dampening now at 2%. If we look at mana, both Druids relatively even. There's a full bash onto Chaz. Looking for a Ring of Frost. Now they're going to be able to find it. No, Minpoike gets the Cyclone, though. And now Raikou could be in some trouble. I think Changed My Mind, they realized going after Swapsy wasn't necessarily the best idea. So at least at this point, before Dampening really kicks in, they're going to be looking to control up Raikou a little bit more. But here's the Smoke Bomb attempt onto Swapsy. They changed target. Chaz wasn't able to get any heal over time effects. He runs into the Smoke Bomb. It's looking like Swapsy's going to be okay. Change My Mind has run out of damage, and Swapsy completely stabilizes.
They're running out of steam. Method Black are going to have free reign for a few moments here with no Vendetta and no Icy Veins to threaten back. This is not too good for Change My Mind. Fried Kitty falls behind. Minpoike tries to jump away from incoming crowd control, but now Fried Kitty's in a Lightning Lasso. Is it going to be enough to take him down? Doesn't appear to be. Raikou finally being pressured. Chaz is slowly falling behind him, mana, but now sits down. Who's going to stop him? He's far away from the fight. Acro's trying to find him, but not sure if he's going to be able to. He denies it. Good denial from Acro. Oh no, he got a little bit. And a little bit is a lot in this case now at 9%, moving towards 9% dampening. And Poike is going to have to try and find a drink if he wants to keep his team in this, but if he leaves the fight, Acro doesn't have Cloak of Shadows and could go down.
Yeah, definitely. Acro in a little bit of trouble in midfield right now. Chaz sitting down for another drink. Method Black in a commanding position. If Chaz can completely reset his mana, Changed My Mind may have thrown away this map and thrown away this series and thrown away this tournament. There's a lot on the line in this game number 5. Changed My Mind's going to have to try to make something happen, because right now, Method Black, they're looking solid. They have all their defensive cooldowns. Change My Mind hasn't been able to really force any of them. Fried Kitty being swatted away, forced to run behind the pillar, has Raikou and Swapsy looking to push in and close out the game.
I mean, at this point, it's going to be overwhelming. Method Black have so much defense. Aside from a swap to Chaz right now with Vendetta and Icy Veins, potentially, Fried Kitty is the one that's behind. Chaz is in crowd control, and Fried Kitty is the one who is dying. That is not what you want to have happen as the team have Changed My Mind. Huge lead for Method Black right now at 15% dampening. Raikou has Icy Veins rolling. He could be doing huge damage, and Acro is trying to stall him down. Minpoike sits down. Chaz finds him. How much mana did Minpoike ultimately get? It's better than nothing. Cyclones up Chaz. Big counterattack. Even though Minpoike didn't get mana, he distracted Chaz long enough for his team to burst down and get an ice block from Raikou. Good awareness there on Minpoike's part. If they can do that again, potentially they stay in this.
Yeah, and look at Fried Kitty. Cold Snap up in 45 seconds, so that means, Change My Mind, they're going to have an opportunity to get 3 ice blocks in this game, whereas for Raikou, I don't know if it's likely we see that Cold Snap come off cooldown, so if Change My Mind can work through one more from Raikou, He's going to be such a vulnerable target moving forward. Minpoike getting bashed up. Chaz looking for a Cyclone. Fried Kitty tried to deny it, but really good positioning there by Chaz. Getting out of the line of sight, denying the interrupt, and as well laying crowd control on him. Minpoike. That's going to force him into his second ice block. And once again, Method Black, they're looking good. But luckily for Fried Kitty, Cold Snap in 10 seconds should be able to hold on.
Behind on mana, behind on ice blocks, just playing from behind, period. Change my mind. Need to start pressuring forward. Chaz is comfortably sitting through a blind. Do they have a sap? They don't have a sap. That's devastating now for Change My Mind. They needed to get the Gladiator's Medallion. Maybe Fried Kitty can carry, securing a counterspell. Huge Comet Storm, but Acro can't connect. He's just caught in a polymorph. No dispel for him. He's too far out of line of sight. If Acro is able to make it to the target, Raikou may have had to use his second ice block. Fried Kitty, fortunately, has another one available. Minpoike trying to stall it out with Iron Bark. Triple crowd control for Change My Mind. With this push, they need to get an ice block. They aren't able. They do continue the chain. Great Cyclone by Minpoike, but Fried Kitty is once again the one under fire. Chaz is in crowd control, but Fried Kitty is dying. Swapsy is just soloing him with huge pressure. He has to ice block. Fried Kitty launched a Gladiator's Maledict right before going into that, though, for counter aggression to try and force Raikou into his, and they get it. They've tied it up.
Yep, no Mages have an ice block left for quite some time. It's going to be 4 minutes, and I don't think we have 4 minutes left on this match. Raikou now into a kidney shot, and I think Swapsy, with the amount of purges he's been able to throw in this matchup, really thrown Minpoike off. Minpoike almost completely tapped on mana, looking for a drink. He's going to be able to get it. Swapsy charging in, looking to take down Fried Kitty, basically solo him down once again. Raikou's been left behind, but he gets a polymorph onto Acro, and now he's completely fine. Minpoike recovers some of his mana, though, and that is so precious at this point in the game.
Lightning Lasso, triple crowd control. It looks solid for Method Black. All they needed is the tiniest bit more damage. Minpoike got Iron Bark out just in the nick of time. It absorbed a huge hit on that Earth Shock, and it might just be enough damage reduction for Fried Kitty to stay alive. Potentially, in desperation, if he can stay alive here, they'll have an opportunity. Cyclone on the Tranquility. That's devastating for Minpoike. He needs to time his heals perfectly out of the Cyclone. Goes for the regrowth. Gets it. Fried Kitty stabilizes.
Acro
Change my mind. Are they going to be able to counterattack off those stuns of Acro? It doesn't appear to be the case, but at least they stay alive, keeping their tournament dreams in it here and having one more opportunity to take out Method Black for the first time in the spring season.
Acro with a beautiful Shadow Meld re-stealth, got the kidney shot on Chaz, cheap shot on Raikou, cheap shot on Swapsy, and that's the only reason why Fried Kitty is still alive in this match. Fried Kitty has the Icy Veins, they just need to find the moment to actually use it. Lightning Lasso looking to close out this series. Swapsy with huge burst damage to the polymorph on Minpoike. Fried Kitty looking so low. Is he gonna be able to hold on? What? No way! Minpoike trinkets out into another Cyclone. Beautiful Comet Storm. Acro with another.
He cloned it
onto Raikou. Fried Kitty now.
Stormkeeper. Zap, zap, blink, stays in it. Barely holding on. Swapsy just can't believe it. He's like, just fall over, Fried Kitty at this point. Minpoike holds out. Another Lightning Lasso. He bashes it. He breaks the chain. Raikou still has no ice blocks. If Fried Kitty can stabilize, they've got Icy Veins. They've got Vendetta. Fried Kitty's full health. They can pull the trigger, but Change My Mind can actually do this if they can connect. Minpoike says, you did not want to drink too long. Fried Kitty's still so low. Now bashed. Fried Kitty out midfield getting blasted. Blinks at 1%. One more Icicle takes them down, and they came so close, so far.
I definitely feel like Wildcard Gaming has won the blind pick. Waz on the Assassination Rogue. I don't think he can go toe-to-toe with Blizzo on the Windwalker Monk in this matchup.
Very curious that Wildcard Gaming just mix it up in the blind. We have not seen this matchup, really, so still is possible for Method Black to find victory here, but we do expect on paper Wildcard Gaming to have the advantage. Blizzo shut down early here by that stun incoming from Swapsy. Looney gets gripped into the fight, into a kidney shot. Triple pressure from Waz, likely playing that Flying Daggers build. Potentially an opportunity to just tear away at the entire team, but Waz is still under fire. As you said, he's the most vulnerable target on Method Black. Trades out Feint, able to reduce some pressure. Looney's got Way of the Crane. He's ready to dig in for a kill. Gladiator's Maledicts have been activated. Chaz denies with Iron Bark. Good cooldown management in this opening stage, not overlapping the anti-magic shield with Iron Bark. Both members of Method Black stabilize and now look to counterattack.
Yeah, full kidney shot onto Looney into a bash. Good backup by Chaz. Looney forced to use not only his Fortifying Brew as well as the Life Cocoon. And you can see Swapsy, he realizes Looney has basically nothing left. He's trying to pressure him down, but Waz can't get there just yet for a kidney shot. Vendetta was rolling, so I think it was a fair trade from Looney. He still has his trinket available, his Transcendence now with a full blind. Looney, what is he gonna do?
Oh.
Blizzo's actually getting really low. Might have to trade out his Touch of Karma, and he does. Looney sits through that entire blind with no follow-up sap coming in from Waz. That was great denial by Zeepai. Got the Asphyxiate stun onto Waz, denying that follow-up CC of the sap.
Wildcard Gaming start to build an advantage in terms of cooldowns, but right now momentum may be in favor of Method Black. As I say that, Chaz gripped into a double stun. Waz falls behind. He needs to retreat away from the fight, using that maneuverability honor talent, trying to sprint and avoid attacks. Zeepai now getting chopped up a tad bit here early on. Mana is even on both sides. Still very close to call who is actually going to be able to take this. Blizzo gets bursted. Fortified Elixir soaks up some hits. Looney's casting out the Soothing Mist, trying to play more mana efficient, try and hold on to any potential cast of heals. Waz shadow steps over. Sneaky interrupt by Waz, but he has no way to counter the Way of the Crane. He kidney shots it, but it's already stabilized Blizzo quite effectively. Chaz gets gripped into the fight. Wildcard Gaming are trying to split some pressure onto him as well. We have seen Restoration Druids fall over to the Windwalker Death Knight setup. See if they decide to stay on target. Chaz gets Ring of Peace back in the fight. Swapsy stalls it with a stun on Blizzo, and now Chaz appears to have been able to get away to safety, although still crowd controlled. Waz likely to be the target, so he preempts the attack by activating Feint, but they did not go for the stun just yet. They're switching their attention to Looney. Both of these teams bouncing around to different targets and trying to throw each other for a loop and force a mistake, but no mistakes just yet.
Yeah, Chaz getting targeted down as he leaps away. Zeepai, Blizzo still gonna be all over him. Chaz could be in some trouble. Waz and Swaps are gonna have to help him out. There's really not too much left for Chaz. There's the Asphyxiate stun. He has no trinket, but unfortunately it was diminishing return. Big blunder there by Zeepai, and Chaz does manage to escape for now because of it. But he gets gripped back, Chains of Ice. He moves towards Waz. Double leg sweep attempt there by Looney, but unfortunately doesn't land onto Chaz, and Chaz recovers.
Blizzo, Zeepai connect on Waz. Mana in favor now of Wildcard Gaming, although Waz has his defensive cooldowns available. It's basically a reset on defensive cooldowns aside from Chaz. Could be another swap opportunity to go after Chaz if Zeepai can get in range and death grip him into the fight. Chaz needs to be ready for that. Waz is still just taking huge hits in midfield. Not sure how much longer he can take this with the Abomination out. Waz tries to shadow step away, but gets gripped back into the fight. Ring of Peace protecting Looney from the attacks of Swapsy. He's pinned around the corner. Looney then escapes to safety. Good teamwork there, but in the meantime, Chaz is sat down. Didn't manage to get much. Waz now in a stun and pressured. No Iron Bark for 12. Needs to rely on just Feint. Chaz is still crowd controlled. Swapsy is now dipping low. Pressure continues to build in favor of Wildcard Gaming.
Definitely Looney in a growth silence. He's going to be using his Fortifying Brew to avoid some of this incoming damage. Waz just can't reconnect. Good pressure though on a Blizzo in the meantime. He's caught into an Asphyxiate stun, and surprisingly this composition from Method Black, they have been able to get quite a lot done. Wildcard Gaming has been pressured. The main target seems to be Waz for Wildcard Gaming, but he's been doing a good job trying to just range, use the Fan of Knives to avoid damage as much as he can. Whereas Swapsy, he's going to be a difficult target to take down, at least at this point in the game.
Let's see what they can get done here. They've got a significant lead, but Blizzo gets stunned. What is the response? He's opting to sit through it. Activates Touch of Karma, but this was prior to trades out everything. Fuse Magic, Fortified Elixir, Touch of Karma. That is definitely not looking too hot for Wildcard Gaming. With Vendetta coming up in 9 seconds, should Waz make it to that point. He's not running Smokebomb, so no opportunity for that, but much more just consistent pressure. His Flying Daggers build could pay off potentially if Looney moves in. They go for the kidney shot. They've got Vendetta. Waz evasions, incoming Fist of Fury, Gladiator.
Blizzo!
Huge damage. He gets Ursul's Vortex on the Transcendence portal away. Will he be able to stabilize? Looney connects some heals. Manages to keep him in a fight. Chaz with an amazing Ursul's Vortex there. Waz still has Vendetta.
Yeah, Blizzo, he's in a lot of trouble as well. Caught in midfield, and he hasn't relayed his Transcendence, so this is going to be a nightmare for Blizzo. If he gets caught again, in the meantime, Wildcard Gaming, they're deciding they're going after Swapsy. They don't want to deal with Waz anymore. He's been too difficult to take down, and Swapsy could just easily fall. Chaz throws in the Iron Bark to make him a little bit more durable. In the meantime, Blizzo taking quite a bit of damage. Can Method Black reverse the pressure onto Blizzo? Like I said, his Transcendence is in midfield. He can't really portal away, and Waz is looking to close out the game. Can he get the damage that he needs? Blizzo with Turbo Fist denies the damage for now. Zeepai grips Waz back. Blizzo in the Ring of Peace should be able to live. He ports in midfield, and Swapsy and Waz are still right on top of him.
Yeah, portal mistakes again could cost a game here. Blizzo's got Touch of Death rolling. He looks to counterattack. Swapsy's preparing for it, just trying to avoid him with the Chains of Ice and Death striking away. Blizzo gets stunned up. Looney denies the kill with that Life Cocoon, but they've actually shredded through it. Mana is almost completely tapped on both sides. Feels like it could be anyone's match. Waz currently in trouble, but Blizzo equally so. Waz comes out of the stun. They grip Chaz into the fight, trying to create disruption in multiple locations. Zeepai still getting cleaved down. Looney's totally tapped on mana at this point. Blizzo needs to get that Transcendence into a better location so that he can avoid the attacks later on. Looney's totally tapped. He's caught into a stun. Cannot use Touch of Karma. And Method Black take game number 1. I shouldn't question these compositions that I craft in my mind, because hey, this looks solid.
It will take Tolvaron with Wildcard Gaming bringing this interesting composition yet again.
I'm really curious about how this map pick is going to backfire, or if it's going to backfire, because I think it might, as you might be able to tell.
I'm kind of curious to see how they lose.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see, but honestly, I have to disagree with what you said there a little bit, Van. I think they're going to be going after Morrow and play a little bit more of a slower strategy where they're essentially just trying to keep Morrow out of that Moonkin form and in that bear form that we see him in currently. And Method Black, they're kind of just staying back right now. I think they're completely happy with playing it out slowly.
Look at Morrow and Looney just sitting in bear form right now. It's the bare necessities for Wildcard Gaming. Method Black. What are they going to do? Raikou just sitting very far away. He's playing Night Elf, and he doesn't have a water elemental, so he's just using the Shadow Meld to sit in stealth. And I think what Method Black is going to be looking to do is, I think what you said is true. They might just go after Morrow for a big all-in attempt in Dampening. Right now, no one on Wildcard Gaming can see anybody on Method Black. I'm kind of curious exactly if they decide to go for an eye push, so grab the Spectral Sights that do end up spawning on either side of the map a little bit later on in the game, try to knock them out. And I think as soon as Raikou gets out, these shenanigans will end.
Yeah, but does Shadow Melt's cooldown trigger when you leave Shadow Melt or when you use it?
I'm actually not sure.
I'm pretty sure it triggers when you actually press the button.
Here's an even trickier question about Night Elves. Is it day or night right now?
We like to joke that Night Elves, they get a little bit of crit at certain times during the day and a little bit of haste at certain times.
I mean, that's not even a joke. That's just factual.
That's actually how it works.
Yeah, we like to joke about that, okay? It's not a joke that happens, but yeah.
I was going to say, during the duel tournament, Waz, he actually implemented the strategy where he just waited till 60-70% dampening and then looked for an all-in push on the Elemental Shaman to try to end up getting a win. Looks like Method Black, they've sort of been forced now to actually get a little bit aggressive here. Kidney shot into Cyclone onto Zeepai, but no. Method Black, they're completely comfortable just running away at this point.
Oh, look at Raikou, the sneaky little ninja. He actually is playing the Water Elemental. He just didn't summon it so he could sit in that Shadow Meld. And the reason why they're doing this is actually because the more they play out the match, obviously, the team that's going to be on the back foot if they stay out in the open too much is going to be Method Black, who is going to be getting kited a lot. So they want to be playing this matchup close to pillars. Chaz doing a nice fake cast there on that Solar Beam, and they are going after Zeepai right now. Going to be cycloning up Zeepai, who potentially could be looking for a re-stealth. And they're going to be playing it out slowly here, just waiting up for Dampening. Basically, Looney, he's going to be able to drink as much as he wants. Chaz, however, he's going to have a tough time getting those drinks due to that Starfall. So conserving his mana and actually just staying back until Dampening gets into the game when that Assassination Rogue is really going to be powerful, that's going to be key for them.
Yeah, Method Black, they've actually lost the last two finals they played against Wildcard Gaming in Cup number 4 and Cup number 5. And Method Black, they're also super close today to getting eliminated by Change My Mind. So that is not the position Method Black wants to be in. And you can tell they're serious, bringing in new compositions in the blind pick, picking up the first win, and now really trying to play to their advantage in game number 2. They're not messing around. They want the momentum moving into the LAN tournament.
We all know I'm not the strongest at math, but when it's visual, it's a little bit easier for me. And if you made a graph right now, and you know the graphs that go up or down, whether you're doing good or bad, I don't know what people use them for. You would see both of these players, both of these teams at a very high level on that graph. But the trajectory for Wildcard Gaming has been up and up and up and up throughout this season, and Method Black has been plateauing, going down, plateauing, going down. They're trying to get that trajectory back up. They're trying to make this a buyer's market. Let's see if they can do that.
Yeah, we see a Cyclone thrown out on tomorrow. It's not going to matter too much that Raikou committed the Frozen Orb. Right now, Method Black's goal is to get to Dampening as quickly as possible. They are playing against 2 Hybrids and a Resto Druid, so there's a lot of healing on the side of Wildcard Gaming, and they just simply don't want to be expending too much mana before they feel like they actually have that kill pressure. We see another Kidney Shot on tomorrow, and then Waz, as soon as he's used that Kidney Shot, he's going to go back, actually using his Shadow Melt there to get a Stealth, and now we see a Maledict onto Raikou, but he's going to be able to brush that off. Chaz coming in with a nice Dispel, and the incarnation of Maro is going to get blinded up. That should tell you, if anything, what Method Black's game plan is.
Yeah, definitely we'll have to see exactly how that plays out. Maro now into his sap. They're just trying to stall it out as long as possible. Like Zika was saying, Dampening has just kicked in, and for me, what is the magic moment in the match where Method Black really can make that all-in push? Right now, they've committed no offense whatsoever. They're trying to stall it out through this incarnation. Chaz's mana still looking completely fine. And that's one of the problems, like we talked about, for Method Black. Wildcard Gaming, they have so much hybrid off-healing on their team, trying to push through the defense of the Moonkin, of the Elemental Shaman. They feel it like it's in their best advantage to just wait, because eventually the single target pressure the Assassination Rogue brings with the wound poison reducing healing is really difficult to heal through. I think Looney's going to struggle, especially with Raikou having the empowered spell steal, the kleptomania to remove all of those magic heal over time effects from the target instantaneously. I think. Ooh, yeah, Waz definitely getting a little bit low there, trading out the Cloak of Shadows. Is Chaz going to be able to keep him alive? Yes. And that's actually, Waz is playing quite aggressive at this point. Chaz and Raikou still positioning very far away. They're allowing Waz to move in, but Waz commits the Smoke Bomb as well as his Cloak of Shadows. No Vanish available, and I think at this point, Method Black's going to have to play a little bit more defensive, or at least choose if they want to be more offensive or more aggressive.
There's the first setup here from Method Black, landing a nice sheep shot cheap onto Looney. We see a little bit of pressure onto Zeepai. They're looking to get that Astral Shift. Chaz, though, not able to find the Cyclone. Zeepai as well with that Fire Elemental is going to be able to shut down Waz's Stunlock attempt there and leave a gap in that crowd control chain. Now Looney moving forward, trying to land a crowd control of his own. Going to be denied from Raikou, though, and we're going to be back at this kind of stalemate position. Waz going to be looking for another Kidney Shot, and you can see Zeepai's HP is actually going down quite a bit at this point. They're trying to get to that 20, maybe 30% dampening mark before they really can commit an all-in. That's because of the map.
Well, hey, look, they managed to get a crisp cross-crowd control scenario set up on the side of the Rogue Mage. Zeepai, yeah, he's taking a little bit of pressure, but he's also held onto his wall. When you look over on the side of Waz, look at this crazy pressure that Zeepai was able to get. And now he's going to be able to do it again. These lightning lassos keep taking so much, and a lot of the time that's backed up by Maro as well. Sometimes he's getting that little baby incarnation. He gets so much pressure going, so much more pressure than other Boomkins can get, and now he's just 14 seconds away from one of his big pushes. He tries to use them as much as possible, trying to fully maximize. Waz going to instantly come in with some pressure here. He's popping the Vendetta. Can he pull Zeepai's wall? He needs to do it here, but Looney going to be able to trade out without a problem. That Iron Bark going to be used when Maro now is the scariest man on this map.
Yeah, definitely Maro going to be looking to get really aggressive with that incarnation at some point. Looney gets interrupted. Good denial there by Raikou as they're looking to make a push on to Zeepai, but Waz into the dash, could just fall. Lightning Lasso finishes it up. Waz does manage to get his trinket as well as the Cloak of Shadows off to survive, but a beautiful Cyclone by Maro.
That was a baby
denies
card.
The heals. There it is. Bash on the Chaz. Does he get the Cyclone? He found it. Waz has to vanish off, and once again, Method Black, Waz, he's used all his defensive tools to survive. Now getting aggressive is going to be really difficult.
Yeah, I think Waz is definitely going to be staying in stealth now for as long as he can, trying to stall out that Cloak of Shadows. Never mind, he's going to go in. There's a nice Garrote Cyclone, sheep shot, sheep. Beautiful denial there from Maro, getting Raikou in a Cyclone, making sure that he can't land that crowd control here. And now we're going to see again Chaz swapping up his positioning on the map. Maro, though, activating that incarnation. Waz could be in big trouble. Nice blind here on tomorrow. Doesn't have his trinket available. That should surely shut it down. Does he have a Shadow Melt? He does have the Shadow Melt sap as well to deny that incarnation damage. Raikou, though, doesn't get that Ring of Frost. Nice win share from Zeepai.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, all that pressure that Maro got in that last setup, that was off an Arcane Pulsar. That was an Arcane Pulsar incarnation. Then he goes into the big one. Waz is ready. He responds. He's able to get him into the blind. He gets the sap. That sets up some crowd control on the side of Method Black, but it's not enough to take any defensive cooldowns. As far as script is concerned, Wildcard Gaming is going to be very happy. We know that Method Black can get into the late game. Mana is going to be very important, and Maro can stop drinks from Chaz.
Yeah, and you can see Looney, he's positioned just so far away at this point in the game where he can comfortably sit down and get drinks, but this is when Method Black, they need to get aggressive and punish the fact that Looney is just wasting time trying to recover his mana. That's when they can really start pulling a lot of defensive cooldowns from Maro. He trades out his Trinket, sells Barskin and Renewal, but now Wildcard Gaming establish a mana lead once again. Chaz at around 40%. Really hasn't had much of an opportunity to sneak away. Finally in cap form, looking for the stealth, but Looney moves in, trying to deny the best he can. But Chaz, he's going straight to full mana.
Yeah,
Oh, actually, no, he's not.
this is the strategy that I kind of like to see from Method Black, going after Maro, but this was a crucial thing that just happened. Waz used his Cloak of Shadows, swapped to the other side of the pillar, and Maro actually got a damage over time effect on him. Waz is going to be cornered here. He's realizing that he's in a tough situation. Shadow steps back into the open. Correct move from him to make here. Maro now stuck in a kidney shot. Raikou with the Icy Veins, polymorphing up Zeepai. Shaz looking for the Cyclone. Man doesn't find it, and a huge burst is gonna net Wildcard Gaming Raikou's Ice Block.
They were ahead before they even had this opportunity. Now you're going to see the lasso. It's going to go on to Raikou. A cheeky little beam going to be placed down. The cold snap does go off. Raikou going to have that security of a second Ice Block, but Waz still a juicy target to just tear on into. As you can see, the pressure mounting once again. No Cloak of Shadows. Maro is a freak of nature.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I agree with that, but he's doing quite a bit of damage. Causing
The good kind of freak of nature.
Okay, the good one. All right, there we go. Bash on the Looney. Maro still getting pressured down, and this is what we were talking about. If Method Black can force Maro into bear form in this matchup, it's going to be really difficult for him to get any sort of counter pressure. It's going to be all up to Zeepai looking for a Lightning Lasso. Waz with a nice drive-by interrupt with that kick onto that Lightning Lasso. Frees up the Raikou. Maro still low. Ironbark looking to deny from Looney, but at 40% dampening, what can he really do? There's a full kidney shot. Waz just trying to take him down. Method Black, they just need one more crowd control chain, but they may have ran out of time. Chaz completely tapped on mana.
Yeah, and right now Waz is a potential kill target for Wildcard Gaming. Goes for that re-step around the pillar, and now Maro does have his Incarnation active. Raikou taking a huge hit, forced into that Ice Block again. Chaz, no mana left in the tank. Waz and Raikou both potential kill targets. Now we see Waz getting cloned up. I'm not sure if I agree with that Cyclone there.
Yeah, I mean, wasting the Lightning Lasso just a little bit, but at this point, Method Black, what can they really do? Waz, he's completely low on health. You see Chaz completely out of mana. There's a full kidney shot as they look to make an offensive push now at this point in the game, but Waz is just so exposed. Raikou with no Ice Blocks for another 4 minutes. He has to be careful. Zeepai is ready to go with a lot of damage. Raikou trying to keep Waz alive with the Polymorph spam, but it might just be too much damage. Waz does get the Cloak of Shadows, but that is the last line of defense. Waz forced to retreat. Chaz looking for a drink. Is he going to be able to get any mana here? Looney pushing in with the nice Vortex, but Chaz, he recovered 50% of his mana. If they can catch up, things are going to be looking good for Method Black.
Yeah, and they had to invest the Cloak of Shadows there to actually get that drink. But now, Maro is a big, big pressure point for Method Black. Raikou could fall, Waz could fall. They're going to go after Zeepai though. No trinket available. Smokebomb gets dropped. Maledict's coming in. Could they take him down here?
I don't know. Zeepai's still just so low, holding on to his Astral Shift. Can you believe these greedy plays? He's so low. Looney just refuses to overlap defensive cooldowns. Waz can't believe it as he pushes forward, looking for some sort of crowd control, using his Vanish. What is he going to be able to find? There's the cheap shot on the Looney. Ring of Frost on Maro. Nicely done. Kidney shot on the Zeepai, but in the meantime, Raikou also getting low. He's at a nice position right now, but there's just no healing. Eventually, Zeepai will fall. Could be a cross kill if Chaz can get in position. It is unlikely, as it looks like Wildcard Gaming looking to make a push, but I just doubt at this point Maro will be able to get it done. And Method Black, they're showing they're here to play, up 2-0 in the grand finals.
You have Zeepai in a position where I think he hit wall once in pretty much the entirety of the takedown to DK row.
These two teams are nothing but outstanding here on Hook Point. The grand final for the European region. This is the final, the 6th cup of the spring season. winner take all moving forward to the spring finals later this year. It's the last time we'll see these teams go head to head until that finale. Looney blinded up, early aggression from Method Black. Blizzo trying to avoid this incoming assault. Looney holding out and playing greedy with his Gladiator's Medallion. Greedy move may cost him.
I think it ends up looking fine, though. There, decent trade as long as Blizzo can keep staving off this aggression. We are going to see Chaz and CC for just a little bit of time here, but no real pressure coming in from Wildcard Gaming just yet, see.
Yeah, and Looney actually able to hold on to that cooldown because the Vendetta wasn't committed. And I think that what Method Black wants to do is eventually go after Looney, but because of the way he's been playing it, he's making it very difficult for them. He's very much aware of it, holding on to every single cooldown, even activating his Way of the Crane over that life cocoon, anticipating the swap. And now you can see Waz is looking to build up that pressure. Nice triple leg sweep here, and Looney transcends away behind the pillar. You see a swap onto Chaz. This could be a big healer race, Sid.
Yeah, healer race on hook point. This thing could be over quite quickly as Chaz manages to escape back behind the wall. Waz gets ring a piece away from Looney. Waz shadow steps in to land an interrupt. Looney retreats, but now susceptible to a death grip potentially as we see them close in on Looney. Pre-life cocoons, expecting the stun from Waz, but now Blizzo is left open. He's low on health. The pressure from Method Black is still mounting. Looney gets interrupted once again. Perfect interrupt chain from Method Black, although this leg sweep is stalling out their pressure just long enough for Looney to connect some soothing miss. Desperately to recover. Huge damage, stun lock. Blizzo, is Touch of Karma going to be necessary? They're trying to hold out on it as long as possible. Looney gets gripped into another swap. Method Black really turning up the heat.
Nice transcendence from Looney. Should be able to keep him alive. Waz doesn't have that sprint with the maneuverability, so he's not going to be able to chase him down for now. Looney should be able to recover. And like you said, Blizzo's hold on to his Touch of Karma. This is looking very, very well for Wildcard Gaming. You can see the mana lead is already starting to come up. And Looney gets kidney shot on his Way of the Crane. This spells trouble for them, Sid.
Ooh, they got the Gladiator's Medallion. He's still low on health. Stunned up, silenced. Way of the Crane was stabilized, but now blind becomes a huge opportunity for Method Black to find victory. However, that mana advantage that the Mistweaver will gain, denying the Druid from drinking, is establishing itself. Method Black basically have to kill Looney before Chaz runs out of mana.
They got a lot there. That was off the back of Waz's Vendetta. The question is, will Method Black be able to establish any more pressure? We are going to see, looking at Looney yet again here. He doesn't have anything to work with for the next couple of seconds. Now he's caught into the bash. There, very short DR. Looney still going to be that target, but he gets away. Going to stabilize. Swapsy and Waz have looked healthy the entirety of this matchup, but they are gunning for Looney.
Yeah, and I want to see Blizzo forced in a situation. Oh, this is good for Method Black. Blizzo just used his Touch of Karma, so now there's going to be a window where they can blind up Looney, sap him, and go after Blizzo. The only good thing for Blizzo right now is that he still has his trinket available. He's going to have to do some good usage with that trinket. Now we see it, kidney shot onto Blizzo. They forced out the trinket. The next kidney shot on Blizzo could potentially close out the entire game. We're going to see Looney get death gripped him, immediately Sheet Torpedoes away. Swapsy with good pet control is going to interrupt him, and they're looking to build up some pressure onto Looney. We could see the blind happen any moment here. Nice preemptive life cocoon should be able to stabilize him for now. Looney definitely playing heads up now, knowing that that blind threat could happen at any moment.
At any moment, Waz can end this game, although if they don't pull the trigger in the next 30 seconds, they'll lose the opportunity. 30 seconds to pull it off. Waz, can you do it? Move to match point and potentially 4-0 Wildcard Gaming after being 3-0'd earlier in the day. Looney gets stunned. Waz looks like he's moving in position for a blind. There's the blind. Blizzo's not ready. He gets caught into a stun. He needs some backup. Is anyone going to be able to save him? Multiple Gladiators, Maledicts. They need more crowd control. Where was the sep? They didn't have the vanish. They needed to make sure that they had the perfect chain. Maybe it doesn't matter. Blizzo's just getting crushed under the weight of raw pressure. Manages to retreat back to center field, catch a couple heals. Ring of Peace should deny the reconnect potentially from Waz, but Gladiator's Maledict again. Way of the Crane. Looney bounces back. Waz's attempt to nail this game is now lost. The crowd control chain was dropped.
Yeah, and Blizzo now has his Touch of Karma available. The matchup has completely reset here, and it's in favor of Wildcard Gaming once again. Looney's going to be caught up in that asphyxiate stun, but he should be fine for now. He can't easily top up Blizzo with that life cocoon. He's going to go ahead and activate it there. Nice dispel as well on that healing reduction from Waz. Blizzo should recover here with the Turbo Fist as well. And now Chaz is completely tapped out of mana. He's not going to be able to drink at all in this match. And Looney still has a little bit left to work with. And now we see another kidney shot attempt onto Blizzo. He should be fine, though. He still has his touch of karma. Might have to activate it, and he does.
It's just nutty the way that that happens, though, as well. Waz gets his Vendetta right at the end of that CC chain, while Blizzo's taking the most pressure ever. Zeepai, though, going to be able to get him in the chains. He can't make his way over. Swapsy now going to take a little bit of pressure, but all of the sudden, everything's back on script for Wildcard Gaming. They can easily turn this one around.
Ooh, that grapple weapon denying the death strikes of Swapsy. Chaz is totally tapped up mana. Wildcard Gaming are overwhelming Method Black here. Crowd control secured. Swapsy likely to fall. And will Wildcard Gaming strike back in game number 3? Hopefully not too late overall in the series. These teams are so evenly matched.
Yeah, it looked like it was kind of like one of those circles of maybe a 60-40, but still that rock, paper, scissors type feel to it. Now that the players have learned more and more about what BFA has in store for them, that has just turned into one of the most complicated webs ever. And you're looking at the two best teams that have traversed that web like genius little spiders, Wildcard Gaming and Method Black, going head to head yet again.
Genius little spiders. Very creepy analogy, but all right. Blizzo and Zeepai get stunned up. Big aggression from Method Black early on. No cooldowns exchanged just yet. Diffuse magic to remove the Gladiator's Maledict. Instant response by Blizzo. Looney gets caught in a polymorph, and this is the disadvantage that Wildcard Gaming bring in this matchup with the Mistweaver, so susceptible to the Mage crowd control, and Raikou continues the chain. They need to break it up before Chaz gets a Cyclone. Chaz jumps in, bashes. Where's the denial on the Cyclone? No one's there. They get the Cyclone. Blizzo has to exchange Touch of Karma. Now down 2 vital defensive cooldowns. Method Black looks solid so far in game 4.
Yeah, Method Black, they haven't used anything. You can see Raikou still has Icy Veins, Touch of Death for Waz available. Now Blizzo's looking to reverse the pressure, finally trying to push through some of these defensives that Method Black have. But the thing is, Chaz with the Iron Bark, Raikou with the Temporal Shield, they're going to be able to completely shut down what Blizzo was trying to set up. Wildcard Gaming, unfortunately, not really able to get anything rolling.
See, they've got Way of the Crane, but at this point I think Blizzo should focus on surviving. He needs to be ready. There's Icy Veins and there's Touch of Death, and he doesn't have anything. He's preemptively activated the Fortified Elixir right before the incoming leg sweep. That was a nice read, but they still commit Life Cocoon as well. Another major defensive cooldown. There's still no Touch of Death, no Icy Veins. Method Black have a huge punch straight to Blizzo's face if he's not ready for it.
Yeah, Blizzo could be in a lot of trouble because of that, although he still has his Trinket, his Gladiator's Medallion, if he needs it to break out of any potential stun lock that Waz has for him. You can see Blizzo, he's actually opted to play Gnome Windwalker Monk, so in order to get a little bit more uptime onto Raikou, break a bit more of those roots, he's going to be playing that Gnome Racial for Escape Artist, which I think isn't necessarily a bad choice, but I don't know if I completely agree with it just yet, as it does make him more susceptible to the stuns that Waz has, and I wonder what's more important in this matchup, Blizzo just staying alive long enough, or having the uptime that he needs.
Whoa.
I guess we'll have to find out.
Decent damage on Raikou. Chaz is actually low on mana. The opening that Method Black had is now over with Icy Veins and Touch of Death blown through. Blizzo's defense available. Things are now starting to go in favor of Wildcard Gaming, and in this best of 7, we've already played Tolvaron. Then we're going to play Ashamains, and Method Black won't have these large maps to fall back on should they want to try and counteract. And we may end up just seeing the Rogue Death Knight into Windwalker Death Knight for the rest of the series, should that occur, which would be a little bit devastating for Method Black. I think Wildcard Gaming do have the advantage in that matchup. Good response by Raikou here. Temporal Shield immediately healing him back to full. However, overlapped with Chaz's Iron Bark, which means he could be susceptible to an attack. Zeepai crowd control. Chaz gets denied on the drink by the Ring of Peace, but Looney had to overextend and now expose himself to a polymorph. Waz capitalized with a leg sweep. Zeepai holds out and avoids it. Now he stuns him on his Fist of Fury. Good denial by Zeepai. They survived that attack, although exchanging Touch of Karma maybe unnecessarily.
Yeah, trading out the Touch of Karma. Blizzo wasn't in that much trouble in that situation. Looney, what is he going to do? Chaz moving forward, looking for some crowd control. You can see Wildcard Gaming, they still have the mana lead in this matchup. Chaz, at some point, is going to have to try to sneak away and get a drink off if he wants to recover that very precious mana. Waz looking for a paralysis onto Looney, into a bash, into a Cyclone. Good CC here from Method Black. Blizzo, what are you going to do? He's in some trouble. He does have Touch of Death rolling onto Raikou, but there's great counter pressure from Method Black. Are they going to be able to take Blizzo down? And he does have Life Cocoon, is able to connect some heals, and it looks like Wildcard Gaming will stabilize, but a little bit of a scary moment there for Blizzo.
Yep, Blizzo with another close call. Looney, though, with the mana advantage, unless Chaz Gets a drink. He's off in the kitty corner. Pinned against the wall, actually. Maybe an opportunity. Tries to jump out of the corner. Manages to make it out of there. Ring of Peace sometimes pretty hilarious. Blizzo life cocooned by Loot. They actually cut right through it. Blizzo in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, Blizzo definitely could be a little bit scared, but he does have the Touch of Karma rolling up in around 8 seconds. And that will be enough for him to survive the next setup unless there's a lot of damage coming in from Waz.
Hey, so I know I'm not as high rated as you guys, but what does, just for any of the people who came in from StarCraft who might not play as much, what does Cacorned mean in World of Warcraft? I know that all of you top players are calling it out all the time, Sid. What's a Cacorning?
A Cacorning. I can't even come up with something creative off that. Is there something I'm missing?
Even Blizzo doesn't know how to react to getting Cacorned. You can see he needs to pop a defensive cooldown here. Looney going to be caught up in that crowd control. Waz now going to be getting the brunt of that pressure. A nice double leg sweep going to go out as well. How will Waz navigate out of this?
I'm not sure. He might have to trade out his Touch of Karma, and he ultimately does. Gladiator Safeguard procs, that little bit of added defense, keeps him alive and buys him enough time to get off that vital defensive cooldown. Now Method Black looking to get aggressive. Double leg sweep coming in from Waz. Blizzo and Zeepa could be in a little bit of trouble. As you see Blizzard, there's no Frozen Orb committed just yet by Raikou, but this is his Icy Veins, and he's not really getting too much done. I think what Method Black was looking to do is try to distract Wildcard Gaming, allowing Chaz to go for a drink, and it worked. Chaz sat down, recovered a lot of his mana by sitting down and drinking away on that precious water from Raikou. And now actually has a lead in terms of mana.
All right, Blizzo with limited defense. Could be a vulnerability for Wildcard Gaming as we step deeper into Dampening. I'm curious to see if Method Black switch targets as well. We do see Death Knights become vulnerable in the deep stages of Dampening as well. So let's see what they can get done here. They set themselves up on a good map, good comp advantage, but even still, Wildcard Gaming battle back against that. An uphill battle, but still one that they can achieve, and that's why these teams are so evenly matched. Waz being pressured, Blizzo equally so, but it's going to be a dance with death. Waz portals, but where is Chaz? He's stunned, he trinkets. Marks at very low health. That may not even be enough. Waz stabilizes now. Blizzo could be in danger. The life cocoon is faded. Looney is still crowd controlled, although dropped the chain. Chaz jumps in to try and continue it. Is managed to get the Cyclone. Blizzo not able to get in position to deny it. Raikou cycloned up though, denying any sort of reconnect of damage, and I believe that was stolen by Zeepai, so using it defensively, trying to stall out the game and potentially win on mana is the tactic that Wildcard Gaming are looking to implement.
Yep, Blizzo taking quite a bit of damage, and there's no defensive cooldowns really left for him. Where is his Transcendence? Once again, he's left it in the middle of the map. If Blizzo falls because of that, it's going to be a disaster. Raikou, though, getting low. A lot of pressure here from Wildcard Gaming. Chaz struggling to recover, finally topping off Raikou. His mana is not looking great, though, compared to Looney. Chaz falling behind, and he's ultimately probably going to have to go and sit down for a drink at some point in the match if he wants to be on par with Looney. We're at 15% dampening. Things are going to start getting really intense for both these teams.
Yeah, we're getting that critical mass, the magic number, the 40% here in between Wildcard Gaming and Method Black. Mana still even, still anyone's match at this point. Although Method Black with the lead look to try and establish more points overall in their European region to potentially qualify to BlizzCon or the World Finals later this year off points alone. Blizzo in trouble. They could advance to match point here and now. Raikou can land this polymorph. Not able to find it just yet onto Looney as Blizzo is hiding for his life right now. Will he be able to stabilize? Looney's afraid of a counterspell. Trying to connect some soothing miss. If Raikou blinks in line of sight, this could just be it. 5 seconds away from Touch of Karma. Not finding the counterspell. Pressure is still just mounting. Blizzo has been in trouble start to finish. Looks like Wildcard Gaming are going for a bit of a swap to Chaz, trying to catch him off guard. Then he gets crowd controlled. Touch of Karma exchanges. Blizzo recovers quite easily. Chaz still falling behind. Potentially Wildcard Gaming overwhelm him, but they need to stay alive as well as they try to do it.
Chaz is getting really low. He gets interrupted. Blizzo and Zeepai are all over him. What is Waz going to do? Ring of Peace looking to deny the kill. Chaz sitting through the protection of that green barrier. While that's placed down on the ground, Zeepai and Blizzo won't be able to move in it. It's a very powerful defensive that the Monk has available, that Ring of Peace. Now that it's faded, Chaz could be vulnerable once again. He's already used his bark skin, already used his gladiator's medallion, so he won't be able to break out of stuns on command. Iron Bark been tossed out onto Waz as well, and now Chaz is really vulnerable. I really want to see Blizzo, Zeepai try to make their way over to Chaz, start getting some damage rolling.
Let's see if they can do it. Looney gets swapped to Method Black are mixing it up. Double stun lock combo. It looks solid here, and Method Black advance to match point, catching Looney off guard. And now they're down 3 games in a row.
Just about 7 seconds until that life cocoon was going on Dollar and Sewers.
Perhaps they can do it. Earlier today, Wildcard Gaming just smashed Method Black in the upper final, but now Method Black with the happy little accidents cleave has managed to climb back in this series and move to match point. Yes, we are.
All right, we'll have to see what Method Black can get done with this composition. We kind of talked about Looney theoretically has the mana advantage when it comes down to Mistweaver and Restoration Druid from Chaz. Already, Blizzo taking a little bit of pressure early on. Looney activating the Way of the Crane to put a lot more damage out onto Swapsy, and I think if Wildcard Gaming learned anything about this matchup on Hook Point, it's that they should probably be putting more attention, more pressure onto Swapsy as opposed to Waz.
Oh, beautiful portal from Looney escaping to safety right as Waz shadow stepped. Definitely tell Looney is experienced and probably the best Mistweaver monk going to the spring finals, even between North America and Europe. Blizzo trying to counterattack, but this is Vendetta, and Method Black seem unafraid to go all out on Looney. It may just be a race to kill him here. They're already up so many points in the series. They can afford to take these types of risks. Chaz with an immediate wild charge on that death grip. Sick reaction time, avoiding getting gripped into a stun. Beautifully timed. Waz is using that death from above to reconnect to Looney, an interesting talent choice from Waz, and I do expect them to continue to tunnel down Looney, although they are splitting some pressure on Blizzo, and having damage on 2 targets is quite devastating. This is match point for Wildcard Gaming, and they're falling behind.
That Cloak of Shadows gets used by Waz. He doesn't have evasion. He could be in some trouble. Might have to trade out his Vanish. That would be disastrous. He'd have no defensive cooldowns left to really rotate through. Looking at mana, Chaz just a little bit behind at this point. Blizzo under pressure though.
Waz.
Good damage on the Waz. What is he gonna do? He has Feint, he has Vanish, just trying to tank through some of that damage with the reduction of Feint. Should be enough as he makes his way back on top of Looney. Looney rolls away with Chi Torpedo. Now Waz is left all alone. Shadow Step Kidney Shot onto Blizzo, trying to create some pressure.
Blizzo dips low. They still have Life Cocoon though. Waz, he's in trouble. Wildcard Gaming are starting to come back in this fight. Immediate recovery, huge heal from Chaz. Chaz needs to drink. He is starting to sneak away. Blizzo is in trouble. Is he going to be able to survive full blind? Looney is comfortable to sit through that. This does not look too comfortable. Waz tried to pre-death from above on Blizzo's Transcendence portal, but wasn't able to find that. Now instead, double stunned. Blizzo is on the run, but he's far away from Looney. They're separated across the entire battlefield. This could easily be it. Looney is still crowd controlled, desperately trying to connect the heal. Life Cocoon right in the nick of time. Swapsy now being pressured.
Yeah, Blizzo could be in a lot of trouble. Swapsy in the meantime getting low. Anti-Magic Shell. Iron Bark gets traded out by Method Black. This is match point for Method Black. If they win this tournament, Wildcard Gaming going to be holding on, looking to continue this fight. Now full kidney shot secured by Waz on the Looney with Vendetta. He gets low. Is he going to have any backup? Unfortunately, no. Swapsy does grip him back. Waz trying to reconnect right now. Do they have the damage? Looney really doesn't have too many cooldowns. Beautiful Transcendence getting out of line of sight. Pops himself off. And now Method Black have to turn their attention elsewhere.
Right, Chaz, what's your mana situation? Because it's not that good. Blizzo down at half, although a touch of death rolling, is trying to build momentum for the team. They're going after Swapsy, who has decided to run Lichborn, and that seems to be the talent of choice for Death Knights when facing Windwalker Death Knight. It rotates efficiently with Iron Bark and Life Cocoon on the healers of Restoration Druid and Mistweaver, but now that its defense is faded, there's an 8-second window of time for Wildcard Gaming to slip through and potentially take a win. Way of the Crane gets activated at a huge cost of mana, but potentially enough damage to find a kill. And he's desperately trying to create momentum for the team. Chaz has Innervate active. He gets a ton of free healing, now stunned on it. Good stun timing by Zeepai. Swapsy goes down to half, but with enough runic power banked up, has more than enough to death strike. Looney trying to retreat away. Method Black continue their advance on both Looney and Blizzo simultaneously, and I mean, eventually Looney's going to make a mistake. How can he keep up perfect play throughout? Ursul's Vortex trying to catch Looney on his Transcendence. Not going to find it. Live Cocoon stabilizes, but now no longer available for Blizzo. In the meantime, Wildcard Gaming set up triple crowd control with pressure on both Swapsy and Waz. Both teams mixing it up and trying to make difficult decisions for the enemy healers to make with pressure in multiple places. Something's got to give.
Oh, blind on Looney. Blizzo, what are you going to do? He ports away. Beautiful Transcendence location. Looney trying to connect some heals the best he can, in a great position to do so. Garrote silence onto Blizzo, bash onto Looney. Method Black looking to close out the series. Blizzo trinkets out. He's still trying to kite, trying to get away, trying to survive. Getting pressure now onto Chaz. Chaz gets caught into the sun. He trinkets out. Bark's getting used. If Zeepy and Blizzo can stay on top of Chaz, he's going to be in so much trouble. Beautiful Leap manages to escape just a little bit longer. Shadow Meld on one of the Gladiators Maledict, but now it's Death Grip back into the fight. Touch of Karma gets traded out by Blizzo onto the kidney shot, and beautifully done by Wildcard Gaming, reversing the pressure onto Chaz, and I don't think Chaz is going to be able to get out of this alive.
A wild charge back up to the upper platform. Ursul's Vortex buys a couple of seconds. He's totally tapped on mana. Blizzo, though, with no defense, could be vulnerable. Looney overextends, almost gets cycloned. Chaz tries to sit down for a drink while Looney is stunned, then moves into cyclone out of the stun instead. Blizzo dips slow, Looney denies it. Both the healers completely out of mana as Dampening has begun. Looney is interrupted, but Waz is now low on health. He's got Vendetta rolling, Touch of Death, both sides in trouble. Chaz caught in a stun lock, could easily just explode here in game number 5, and Chaz goes down. Wildcard Gaming stay alive in the tournament.
And they're going to keep on trucking, and the big thing of Warcraft has to offer, it's all led up to this moment with two teams that have been dominant forces in EU. In Method Black and Wildcard Gaming. Method Black trying to prove that they can still be that #1 team, though. They don't want to be second best. They want to prove that they are the best team that the EU will be sending to the biggest tournament of this season.
Waz initiates the attack with a cheap shot, sounds on Zeepy, but Zeepy immediately repositions on the opposite side of the tombstone, counter-aggressing with that lightning lasso. Soaked up by the spell lock of Swapsy. And the one thing with the composition that Wildcard Gaming are playing is they actually don't have a lot of consistent interrupts. When you're facing a Destruction Warlock, Chaos Bolt's very important to stop. How do you stop that? Consistent interrupts. This composition doesn't have that, so Swapsy will be raining down tons of damage in this, which is why it makes sense for him to be attempting the Destruction Warlock. So let's see how Wildcard Gaming decide to play around that threat.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to see. Swapsy is going to be a huge threat on that Destruction Warlock. A lot of damage available, but Zeepy's been doing a really good job in these matchups so far, making sure he's shutting down all the casters. It's going to be up to him to land really good grounding totems and wind shears, but that can be so difficult when you're caught into a kidney shot. And we see Zeepy, he's playing really defensive right now, having to run away. Waz looking to reconnect. Nice lightning lasso from Zeepy, unfortunately wasn't full. Waz manages to land a Shadow Step after a Thunderstorm. Now full kidney shot onto Zeepy. Looney with no trinket. Opts to use his Life Cocoon, and right now, Method Black appears to be in the driver's seat. This composition is working out great for them.
Ooh, beautiful Cyclone on the defensive cooldowns of Zeepy. Looney needs to get ready to heal him back up right after that. Trying to fake cast a spell lock. Looney fake casts a spell lock of Swapsy. Now the threat has been thwarted off of nice play on Looney's part. However, there's really no defense left for Zeepy, so the next kidney shot could be devastating. Love to see Method Black just push forward, secure crowd control into both members, Zeepy and Looney, and end this. They can easily do so. Maro's really the only one who stands in their way. They need to make sure they interrupt Cyclones when they make this push. Looney and Zeepy know that this next attack is going to be huge. Trying to prepare for it. Chaz jumps in, looks for a Cyclone on Maro, trying to deny him from stalling this out. Maybe a swap onto Looney actually initiated. Immediate Shadow Step, but Zeepy shuts it down immediately. Although overlapped a tad bit with that Cyclone. Would have maybe not liked to have seen the Cyclone in that position. Could have been an opportunity to actually kill Waz. So they stay alive, but unfortunately they could have actually counterattacked it at the same time and lose an opportunity.
Yep, Swapsy still actually used 3 Chaos Bolts there on Maro. Unfortunately not able to find too much damage. Looney with the Way of the Crane is going to be able to heal up his entire team. Waz actually in a little bit of trouble. He has Feint rolling, Cloak of Shadows, and Evasion available. Is he going to have to use them? It looks like Line of Sight should be enough for now, and Chaz has enough time to actually top him off. Now Lightning Lasso onto Swapsy. Good control coming in from Wildcard Gaming. Cyclone onto Waz. Swapsy kind of left all alone in this position. He's actually getting bursted down. And if we look at mana, things are not looking good here for Method Black. Chaz already around 50% mana. Looney almost completely full. And I don't know. I'm starting to doubt this composition Method Black has selected.
All right, Maro stunned up. It looks like Method Black are switching up their targeting. trying to catch Wildcard Gaming off guard, but that is a very difficult thing to do when facing a healer of the caliber that Looney is. Double Mortal Coil into blind. Good setup. Looney denies it. Solar Beam from Maro breaks up some of the damage as well. Vendetta coming off cooldown. Infernals are going to be available, and Looney has no Gladiator's Medallion. I want to see Method Black make another swap to Looney, try and get some crowd control into Zeepai and Maro to stop them from stalling their assault. He is likely to be the easiest target at this moment in time to kill. See how Looney handles the pressure. Maro actually the target here for now, as they're trying to stall out this incarnation. I do believe it's an Arcanic Pulsar, so not going to be lasting too long. Completely denied by the kidney shot. Looney rolls in, but he rolls next to Waz. Curious to see if Waz wants to make a... I'm really surprised to not see them switch over to Looney.
Just in case some people haven't actually played Moonkin yet, could you hit them with the flex of knowledge right now and let them know exactly how Arcanic Pulsar does operate?
Yeah, after you cast, I believe it is 9 Star Surges, you get Incarnation for a small amount of time. You can throw your opponents off guard or potentially force cooldowns in that window. And then when your main Incarnation becomes available, you can then look for a kill or vice versa. You can also use it to extend the duration of your main Incarnation by an extra few seconds, and that is the main game plan for Maro so far. I would like to see more setups. I feel like Waz should be the target for Wildcard Gaming, but they seem happy just focusing down Swapsy. See both Chaz and Swapsy crowd control during Ironbark's defense. Good stall by Wildcard Gaming. Mana now in favor of Method Black. It's not looking too good for Wildcard Gaming as they are on match point. If they lose this or the next game, they will be going home in second. And that's very important as these teams are so evenly matched and have basically the same amount of points or close to it, which means if it comes down to it at the end of the year to qualify for the World Finals, and it's based off points between these two teams, this series alone could decide that lead. So there's a lot on the line moving into the future in this series between these teams.
Yep, Maro now into a kitty shot. We are entering Dampening. How much mana does Chaz have? He's been managing to hold on to it quite nicely. Hex secured onto Swapsy. He's got a lot of offensive capability right now, rolling with that Dark Soul. Keep in mind his positioning. Is he going to be able to get any casts off? Looking for some Incinerates. Now a big Chaos Bolt. Maro shuts it down quite easily with that Solar Beam. Now it's Swapsy who's on the back foot just a little bit. Zeepai and Maro have just been able to put out so much pressure all day on this Moonkin Elemental Shaman composition, but Chaz heals up Swapsy. Method Black looking healthy, and now it's Maro on the back foot.
All right, Maro, huge burst. Looney denies the kill. Dampening has set in here on match point for Method Black, and they have been developing momentum throughout the fight, and it's looking better and better for them. Wildcard Gaming need a trump card if they want to pull this off and move to a game 7. Maro gets bursted. In trouble. Swapsy gets bursted, equally so. Lightning Lasso gets denied by Waz. Good teamwork. Perfect denial. Maro feared away. Buying Chaz time to breathe and stabilize, but even still having a rough time.
This is not looking too good for Method Black. Swapsy had to trade out a lot of his defensive cooldowns there in that exchange, and Maro in the next minute and 40 seconds, he's going to have that Incarnation rolling once again, and Swapsy doesn't really have a good answer. Chaz is going to have to make sure he holds on to a lot of mana, as well as Ironbark if he wants to survive that assault. Now at 11% dampening. Waz has a lot of offensive capability coming up soon with that Vendetta. Now full kidney shot secured on his Zeepai. Looney shuts it down immediately with the Life Cocoon. Slowly but surely, both teams running through their defensive cooldowns. Things could become scary. I feel like Swapsy right now is probably the best target for Wildcard Gaming to go after. Waz has a lot of cooldown still with the Cloak of Shadows, with the Vanish to keep himself alive. You can see Looney just chasing down Chaz. He doesn't want to let him drink. He knows that they can just extend the game. Both healers don't drink. Theoretically, the Mistweaver should have the advantage, but Chaz has been doing a really good job.
This could be the last time that we see these teams go head-to-head. You do not want to go anywhere as Method Black are on match point and looking to assert dominance in the European region. Infernals have landed. Swapsy is ramping. Zeepai knocks them away to buy a couple of seconds to try and recover, but even one Chaos Bolt at 16% dampening could close this fight. Looney gets crowd controlled on the way of the Crane. They don't have any follow-up. Waz gets cycloned at low low health. Zeepai makes a fair exchange of the Astral Shift for the Infernals, but now Vendetta available. Waz could be on point here to close this game out single-handedly. Spelllock instantly on the Lightning Lasso. That threat is now out of the way, and it is go time for Method Black here shortly.
It is go time. Kidney shot on the Zeepai. No Astral Shift available, but Looney still has so many defensives he can rotate through. Waz getting bursted down. Could be in some trouble. Chaz has to play catch-up at this point in the game. Feint trades out to try to keep Waz alive. Chaz in a full Cyclone. Good control coming in from Morrow. Swapsy looking for a Spell Reflect, looking for some fears. Interrupts Morrow's Cyclone. Zeepai caught into a fear. Waz all over him. Is he going to be able to take him down? He has a Vendetta, but Swapsy gets caught in the crossfire. Huge damage by Morrow and Zeepai. And Wildcard Gaming tie this series up.
We're going to a Game 7. Method Black in such a great... The question is, will Method Black be able to navigate their way out of a hairy situation? They had this one by the reins, and now it's on the razor's edge, all down to game number 7. Method Black versus Wildcard Gaming.
Either team just needs to shave off one more point to take the entire tournament. These teams have been so evenly matched throughout tournament play, and they've brought in basically every single archetype available in the game. And I could have never guessed that it would come down to Boomkin Elemental Mistweaver facing Rogue Mage Druid, having seen the way that the meta has played out. But with these teams being so evenly matched and bringing so much to the competition, this is what we get, and it's going to be a treat. Both teams a little bit reluctant to get things going.
Yeah, Waz sitting in stealth. He's going to be sharpening up his razor blades before he moves in and gets aggressive onto Wildcard Gaming. Who are they going to go after? We know Method Black, they're not afraid to just sit and wait till dampening, and that will be their advantage. I think it was around 50% dampening where eventually Chaz, Raikou, and Waz were able to take down Zeepai, so that might be the number we see again.
The longer we wait, the longer Rich's mustache grows and the more devastating it's going to be when it has to be ultimately shaved off. Looney gets attacked early on from Method Black, trying to catch him off guard.
Get him!
Looney is not a healer that you are likely to catch off guard, but Waz is going for it.
Yeah, but unfortunately, Raikou is nowhere to be found, and I just think it's so unlikely that Waz can take down Looney. Now finally in a good position, getting shut down. Morrow and Zeepai have just been owning Raikou so far. A lot of control. Finally a full KD shot. What is Raikou going to be able to get done? Looking for an Ebon Bolt. Gets it off. Big damage on the Looney. But off heals coming in from Zeepai. Looney might have to portal away. He doesn't have the Transcendence for another 15 seconds. Life Cocoon buys him enough time to survive.
If Wildcard Gaming lose this, Rich's mustache is cursed. Anytime we bet against the stash, it always gets protected.
It always wins. They're going to change the dampening icon, so as we get deeper into dampening, a stash just grows out of that sword. Could you imagine? Like, get longer and longer.
All right, good damage now onto Raikou. Method Black wasn't able to stall as long as they really wanted to. And once again, this is just going to be one of those matchups where Wildcard Gaming, they're going to be looking to deny damage for as long as possible. Morrow and Zeepai, they have to do a good job with control in the matchup. Stop Raikou's crowd control, stop Raikou's damage. And if they can pull that off, they might be able to stall for quite a bit of time. You can see there's a full blind sap onto Morrow. And once again, Waz is going to be looking to deny as long as he possibly can. And it's looking good.
So much tension in this game that the game is beginning to shake here between Wildcard Gaming and Method Black. The last time we're going to see them battle it out to make it to the LAN later this year, where they will then face North America to decide who is the best internationally and who will take the first spot to the World Finals. These two teams are looking to be the teams to beat for North America moving forward and just for the world in general. Zeepai the target of choice here for Method Black as they continue switching it up.
Yeah, and let's see what they can get done. Method Black, we did see them go after Zeepai, like we kind of said. That was the all-in pressure point that they had available. Morrow is actually a great target for them to go on if they can shut him down, force him into bear form, and will really limit his ability to get out cyclones and damage. So potentially Method Black will turn their attention there, because I think it's really unlikely Zeepai ends up falling in this matchup till late dampening. So I think if they're going to be looking for a stall-based strategy, just go after Morrow. But no, they're just looking for crowd control, and this is what I'm talking about. Wildcard Gaming, they're much more susceptible to an all-in. Zeepai getting really low. Life Cocoon finally lands from Looney. onto Zeepai, but it's overlapped with the Astral Shift. And this is looking good for Method Black.
Anytime Wildcard Gaming dips low health, Rich starts panicking. He's literally standing on his seat right now. He does not want to have to shave that precious mustache.
I want Wildcard Gaming to not come out on top now.
Yeah, that's what you were cheering.
And now in the kidney.
There's not much left, but I guess Looney's chilling. Couple soothing mists out there. Zeepai restabilizes. Icy Veins available for Raikou. Curious to see where he decides to place that. Chaz is doing a great job managing his mana, as Looney on the Mistweaver is likely to outdo him. Maro in trouble. Waz equally so. That's the Gladiator's medallion. Not during Incarnation. Waz is vulnerable, almost as much as Richard's mustache now.
Yep, things could be a little bit scary here for Waz, but he still has the Cloak of Shadows and Vanish, and that's one thing Waz always does a great job of, is he doesn't overlap his defensives. He always has something left to survive. Such a high-level rogue in these tournaments. Now full kidney shot secured onto Zeepai. What is Raikou going to be able to do? Because like I said, I don't think Waz at this point in the game is going to be able to solo down Zeepai. They really need a good coordinated effort, but with the way Looney's positioning so far away in the matchup, it's really difficult for Raikou, Chaz, and Waz to push in, get the control they need, because I feel like if they don't get that control, it's going to be really difficult for them to actually close out the game.
All right, let's see what they can get done. Dampening has entered the fray. Both teams equal on cooldowns and mana. As things continue underway, Looney portals away to avoid crowd control in that starting room, utilizing the map effectively, but they left Maro behind. Waz trying to punish, go after him. Raikou can't support as he's hexed up. Chaz still needs to do a perfect job with his mana. We do see a Lightning Lasso Incarnation, but likely the Arcanic Pulsar. How much damage can they do? Looney and a Polymorph. This is a great time for Method Black to close this series out. Where's the damage? They have the crowd control. There's just absolutely zero damage.
Yep, Zeepai's going to be able to easily shake off that last attempt there by Method Black. Now Waz getting a little bit low mana in favor of Wildcard Gaming. Looney trinkets out of the blind. Now susceptible to a Polymorph. Full bash on the Waz. Can he get the Cloak of Shadows off? I believe he should be able to. Maro. Oh, goodness gracious! Wildcard Gaming once again, unexpected burst damage. Maro, Zeepai, and Looney are just on fire. Honestly, I feel like they're the most dominant team we've seen in the whole world. I mean, we can talk about Europe and North America till we're blue in the face, which team's going to win, but to me, Wildcard Gaming right now, they just have the diversity, and like we kind of talked about,
Happening, Method Black, 640 points, and slowly, week after week, Wildcard Gaming has been catching up. Now, this was something that I mentioned to Zico a little bit earlier. Only getting an additional 20 points for beating the team that's ahead of you, that is a long slog back. You're going to have another 6 weeks happen in the next season as well. So that's what, 120 points that